Alrighty, welcome back everyone. We are here once more with the Sunday session. Almost said Saturday. God, it's been so long. Not used to regularly having Sunday sessions. I almost ended up taking a nap beforehand. Alright, yeah, so welcome back everyone. We are back with the party after a very both rushed and yet slow session last time. Starting off with a bring back from having taken a break for so long, the party managed to kind of go through a bit of a story session with the finding out that Dom Nander had been pinned for a murder, the party being forced out of the city, poor Aldrin being completely ignored after gathering information. The group would find themselves, unfortunately, exiled from the town after Domnander would get blamed for the supposed execution or killing of Thrid's oldest son. With that, the party was given a dire white wolf and a carriage rather to take out. And as the party decided to take off after finding no airship available, they would find themselves traveling to Knighton, where, unfortunately, after seeing a massive bright light of a spell go off across the entire city, the party would be left at a loss, as they were still a few days away from the town. Upon finally arriving, though, they would find themselves signing onto a ship under the familiar face of long ago, or rather far to the future, signing up under Zilpip and his newly acquired, or rather liberated, ship or warship that the party is now heading on to Diamond's death. They had 9 months, however, after last session with the massive situation going, or the situation of them being exiled from Hrim Purser's last hold. Many of the party members chose to take this time to kick back and relax, enjoying a little TLC while they considered their next move. Some would train, practicing poisons, hiding away in the dark. Others would begin to try and learn of great feats of other men. And yet some would be in the restrooms, enjoying the nice hot water and a shower for the first time ever, realizing that green coloration was actually a weird muck on his skin. As the party has spent the last 9 months aboard Zilpip's liberated vessel, yet to be named, you lot finally... Though, with one less green spot on Ned, find yourselves coming to the vast city of water known as Diamond's Death, a city of merchants, marble pillars, bright domes above them in almost cylindrical design. The architecture seemingly similar to India in itself, with its many, I don't know what the rounded tops are actually called, or the Hershey tops are actually called. But as you see the roofs, actually, as you flying by them, you see the gleam of them and realize that they are made of solid diamond. Much of the buildings themselves seem to be shaped out in the design of artistic dragons and such, as you guys come to a landing in one of the smaller ports for airships. You find yourself hosted in a very tall building that's outside the city that seems to act as a port for 4 other ships that have landed here recently. 3 other smaller trade vessels that look to be kind of set up. One that you recognize a sigil on somewhat, as it has a golden heart design upon it, looking similar to the one on the card that you guys were given by Jakix. But as you land in the new year, having spent now 9 months aboard this ship, traveling and seeing the vast skylines of the sea, you spent the spring, or the late spring, the summer, fall, and winter, and come back to landing in Diamond's Death now in what is roughly about February-ish in the year. So you're kind of at the end of winter, coming into early spring. You can feel the rain coming down, the muck of the city out and about. But as you disembark, the sailors that are up there seem to go immediately heading down through the building, kind of laughing and joking about some tavern in town called the Giant Spoon or something of the sort. As you lot start to disembark.
Before they go,
this is their cue.
Yes, Sopa.
real quick, can I roll a seduction check for the femboy?
Yes.
I knew this was gonna happen.
Now, in this case, because there isn't a straight seduction, we're gonna do just a straight charisma versus charisma in this. In all fairness.
Of course. Yeah.
So it's gonna be your charisma modifier versus his, if you both want to roll for it. But what are you gonna be saying to Kesnanok as they come above deck and kind of get ready to disembark?
I think in the entirety of the 9 months, the only real person I've interacted with is Dormnatter?
I think it's Dom.
Yes.
Domnatter.
Yes.
I've probably had 3 or 4 conversations ever with.
With the rest of them. Oh.
Kesnanok. Oh.
Yeah.
My headphone died.
You're good. You're back.
I've had like 3 conversations with Kez, ever, and I think, Kez, I walk up to you and I go, now, as the leader of this party and the love of my life, I wish you farewell. And with all of my 1.5 feet of height and nearly infinite strength, not really. I tried to dip Kez into a kiss.
So the only issue is Kez is 20.
Tall.
Oh, you're 9
No,
feet.
I
Oh.
understand.
9 feet tall, 500 pounds.
So you come up to Kez's knee, and all right, yeah. Go ahead and roll the charisma. I assume that that's a strength versus his strength. I'm not gonna make you roll for that. I don't think you can beat his strength. I'm gonna be honest, but we can.
I think I can with magic.
Okay, you know what?
With a nat 20 and a nat 1.
I think-
all things are possible.
Not that anyone would be able to see it, but like, just like an arcane force appears under his back, like holding him up.
Sliding
My
him
dip does
down.
Absolutely nothing. I have no
Alright.
muscles.
You know what? Yeah, we'll make it a will save for your and make DC your caster level plus it when you try it.
Okay, what am I rolling?
All right, so let's start. So with the charisma before the swoop, and
That's
then
just 21.
21.
Good God, that's an 18. Fuck
All right,
me.
now hold up. Don't worry, because you're straight, so it's all right. You're good. Now as far as it goes, now give me a will save to see if you can manage to not be moved by this magical force.
27.
What's your casting? Okay. As you feel a slight blush, and for a moment, Kesnanok, you're not. Something deep down feels wrong for a second to you. You're not sure about this feeling, but it's not the same as you felt before. And just as quickly as it appears, it disappears as you look down at this tiny dwarf-like figure who you feel magic start to push against your back, and as you kind of. You feel it's like trying to curve you, and as he kind of assumes, suppose you've seen other giants do it. You know what he's trying to do. You've never been on the receiving end of it. You've definitely done it before. But as you kind of straighten your back up to kind of start puffy at your chest a bit more, you manage to keep yourself standing from the spell as you look down at him. How do you react, Kesnanok? Just blood, like red.
I'm gonna
With
go
that-
now.
Farewell, my love, my life, my everything.
God.
Kez is you see Kez is trying not to gag, or is like gagging and trying not to vomit. As you say this, as you try and
Thank you for the ride. I appreciate it.
100%. Dom,
Yeah, I think
not
Dom's
use
just
that
nearby
around your
watching
friends.
this.
I swear to God, I've done it before. It ends poorly.
Dom looks a little bit confused by the interaction, but just kind of nods along with the advice given, just like a, okay, yeah, of course.
Cool. And I'll just watch them disembark.
Sorry, you broke the deal a little bit with that. I didn't know that was coming.
Same Chaston, I was expecting something like that. I heard my name and I felt a moment of fear.
As you disembark, you see Keznok kind of looks back, and Zilpip, you take it as a lovingly look, as Keznok just looks at you with like worry and like a slight like concern. I think I keep looking back at you.
What the fuck? Guys, listen, it was a nice flight. I don't know if we're ever gonna do that again.
I don't know. I rather liked it aboard.
Shut up.
I
didn't even know
think
who
I
he
would easily
was.
take a ride again.
Listen.
Seems that Captain is
Listen,
very
I'm a little
fond
out
of
of
you.
sorts right now. I'm not really sure. I'm confused. Is all I'm saying. It kind of like a fantastical flashbang just went off right in front of me. I need a drink.
You know-
Where's the you there, random guy? Where's the bar? Where's the tavern?
You start climbing down the stairs, pointing towards the people in front of you, and one of the giants looks up at you, or one of the cloud giants, that's kind of skinnier, a little bit shorter, looks up at you and goes, well, skinnier than the rest of your compatriots, I forget, sorry. As he looks over at you, Keznok, he goes, young lady, I don't think you should be going
Lady,
to...
please don't confuse me for a woman, please.
I saw that dwarf putting the moves on you, I would have assumed.
I am a man, through and through. I have a penis.
The
think
most
it's time for a
masculine
haircut,
female you'll
yes.
ever meet.
Kezu has a buzz cut. Sorry, go.
You're right. There's no way that thing can be a female. Has no elegance.
The cloud giant kind of looks at you as you say that, Uldren, and then kind of looks back at Keznok and looks him up and down and goes, I mean, you're not wrong, but I've seen some storm giant women that could definitely take down men twice their size. I figured it was just a young teenager or something like that. My apologies, young man.
It's okay. It happens a lot.
I don't recommend getting lost at night. You give an awkward shadow, if you know what I mean.
I got you.
There's a few taverns in town. As far as it goes, he kind of digs around into a bag of holding. He pulls out something. He tosses you a bottle. Now, what is a bottle in your hands is about the size of Zilpip. Like, just for your reference. Like, it is slightly, like, just taller than he is and a bit wider.
I was about to say, is it Zilpip to some people? I guess to the giants is a tall glass of water.
Yeah, as he tosses it over to you, you see it's full of some sort of brown liquor in it. As you uncork it, it smells sweet.
Okay, today's the day to forget. All right.
As he pounds back. Yes, go ahead.
I want to say, as the party's departing and Keznok is getting wasted, Domnander would take a moment to like give Zilpip a semi-formal, but also just like a kind goodbye. Like to thank him for taking us to travel and just give him like a kind goodbye before following his party.
Okay. Yeah, as Dom goes running down, sorry, not Dom. As the park guy heads towards the stairs, Dom kind of staying behind, giving a polite bow and thanking Zilpip. As you guys catch up, heading back down, Uldren, do you want to make sure, did I catch you saying something earlier?
No.
Okay. As you lot start heading down the stairs, Kesnok downing his bottle of some sort of sweet, as he realized immediately, is some sort of sweet brown rum. Heading down the stairs, coming to the bottom, you see as the guards there with a couple of carriages waiting about. One of the guards looks over at you lot and goes, I take it you're with the giant warship. Carriages to the city are being brought for everyone. We're not allowing merchants to currently travel the open road. So unless you're... It kind of looks you up and down and then goes, you don't look like much of merchants, I take it. You're adventurers?
Yes, sir.
He goes, mercenaries, or are you looking for some other kinds of work?
Just whatever pays.
Well, we've got a
As
mercenary.
long as I'm not butchering any animals,
We'll find you a butchery soon one day.
Do you
I will shove this stick so far up your ass.
No, Ned, we don't talk like that.
He looks to Ned and he goes, "Sir, you cannot talk to a young lady like that."
I am a man. I'm a man. I am a penis. Do you understand? God damn it! So many times.
Pull it out already, Avery.
I think what my party's trying to say is we would love to find some work in this city.
Kez pulling his hair out and like going crazy.
Yes, what my compatriot
The guy just wide-eyed.
says, we would like to find work. My apologies for lashing out. I've had some drink in me to forget the past 20 minutes.
He kind of looks at the rest of your party and then kind of looks at you and then, like, with a knowing, like, look to the rest of the party, just kind of gives a nod and then looks back at you, Kesnok, and goes, and then back over to Dom and goes, if you're looking for work, yeah, there's plenty of shops and businesses in town that are hiring. The mercenary quarters has, of course, is always looking to bring in more people. You can set your rates with the captain who stands guard there. Currently, I believe the head of the mercenary corps is a gentleman by the name of Neff or something of the sort. But he should be away on mission with his crew currently. As far as it goes inside of town, aside the mercenary quarters, yeah, it takes a second and thinks. There's an adventuring guild called the Garden's Grace that you should be able to hit up, as well as the Humbling Horde Adventuring Guild. Depends on your type of company. But since I assume you can't afford the carriage fee, I'm gonna recommend it's about... Just follow alongside the roads. The carriages shouldn't hit you with mud as long as you follow on the right side. It's a lot more graveled on that side.
How much is the carriage fee? My apologies.
It's about 20 gold pieces per carriage.
Don't we have our own wolf carriage? Like,
Well,
out of
yeah.
character?
You do. It is on the ship currently. If you want to go, if you want to have it brought down.
Yeah, I have to say, if no one brought that, Dome Thunder would have.
I would have hoped that our luggage would have been, brought off the ship.
Yeah.
My love, you returned to me.
As you turn back around, you see Zilpip kind of following the wolf in the wagon, kind of floating down.
Thank you, kind sir. I appreciate what you've done for me these past 9 months.
I feel like the poison of the spit, like the pronunciation of "sir" in that is a little strong as well.
Despite only having 3 conversations, which lasted none but 20 words or less.
Hey, you two should kiss.
Aldrin, I will deal with you later.
The guard leans down to Uldren and goes, "So that's her lover."
Oh yes,
I
most
wiggle
definitely.
my eyebrows at Kez, but make no moves.
As the cart
Oh
lands.
wait, you can't see my face. Never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You see my mask?
The hairline moves a little bit back and
Up and
forth.
down.
Yeah.
You know what it means.
As you see the cart, Zilpip kind of like sets up the cart back up, getting the wolf reattached to it. The guard just kind of nods and backs back up, kind of clearing the way so you can get through. As a couple of the sailors from the other ships have kind of backed up.
Thank you. Yeah, we got our cart. We're good to go.
You're not gonna kiss him goodbye?
I hear
Aldrin, you're going to hell. You're going to hell. Whatever I can do.
Kesnock looking up and glaring at you with this.
Whatever is possible for me as a mortal being to do to make sure you do not go to paradise when you die, I'm going to take.
You see some storm clouds in the distance forming.
I don't think it's your decision to desire what happens to me after I die.
Not for long, that is, at least.
If it's the same as last time, Eldrin, it'll be a weird flaming dwarf on a beach for us.
Probably. I really hope not. I didn't really like the look of that guy.
I did not.
All right, let's keep moving. Let's start down the road. Let's just get going.
Yeah.
I want to go to town.
As you turn,
more drinks to be had.
as you turn back around, Kesnock, and as the rest of you turn around to go to the carriage, you look and Zilpip is nowhere to be seen.
Check your pants.
Let's say, hold on.
I think when you're dead, it's up to the earth to decide what happened to you.
What? Check your pants.
Ned, one of the guards kind of nods along with you as you say this, and as he does, he kind of hands you a copper coin.
I excitedly put it in the bucket.
That's getting enough of a reputation.
I very happily shake this man's hand.
He seems to do the same and tells you something, like a side story about a cousin of his that went to Kirkek and joined up with a similar group to yours that sounds very familiar and that's been going around and spreading the word of Mother Nature. But as you kind of eventually get onto the carriage and start heading on your way, following the road and following the rest of the train of carriages ahead of you, who's gonna be on the front part of the carriage or wagon / carriage? Yeah.
I need to be alone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would be sit up there with someone just to help, but if Kesnock really wants space, I guess.
As I get ready to get on the wagon, I wave at the security guard and go, "The earth giveth and taketh away, my brother."
He kind of bows.
What the fuck is that?
He bows to you and smiles as he waves you off.
Actually, I think I just remembered I have a high diplomacy, so I think Thumb Under will just silently, wordlessly slide up in the front with Kesnock, but just not engage any conversation.
No, Kesnock is just kind of sitting there getting ready. You see, as the last person to get on is Ned climbing on into the back of the wagon. And as
I'll pass Dom some booze as well.
As you kind of see as Dom slides over,
Cruising.
the two of you kind of start drinking. Kez, go ahead and give me a handle animal roll.
Of course, as I'm a notorious of being good at these.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That'll be actually a nat 20 for a 25.
Whoa!
25. Yeah, easily.
You know who gives us a bad name? The Booze Crashers. See, I am the epitome of drunk driving.
I'm kind of disappointed you rolled so well. I got speak with animals, and I was about to have a good time.
I'll say also, that's not a 25, that's a 26. You have a +6, not a +5. So you did even better as you get the creatures to or as you get the wolf to immediately kind of snap to attention and starts moving the wagon. You get a nice comfortable pace, and within a half a day, as you guys kind of watch the outskirts of town come into view through the forested areas, you start to see the vast city that starts to spring up over the skyline. As you look about though, off to the side, you do notice a small it looks like it's kind of been set up recently with a few wood spikes, a small wooden wall, and a ditch dug on the outside of it off to the right of the city, where you see a bunch of tents kind of put up, and a large, bird-like figurine on the sigil, on the flag as it flies in the camp, as you guys get closer and closer to the city. As you finally get up to the city, as the line kind of clears through, one of the guards looks up at you and goes, "How can I help you, gentlemen?"
getting into the city to work.
What my compatriot is trying to explain is we're adventurers here to take up some of the work we've heard has been in the area. And I'll try to diplomacy check cover up whatever the.
You're not gonna hit on me, are ya?
As you look at this guy, you obviously can tell it's a kobold of some sort, looking very like dragon-like. He stands about 6'4" and looks over towards you, and goes, I'm afraid of what. Sir, I don't think you understand how basic anatomy works, but if I may for a moment.
God. You see me as a man. Thank God.
Well,
It's crying.
sir, please.
I'm so hard with this curse. I keep being mistaken for a woman.
Sir, I don't care about your life story, I'll be honest, if you don't mind explaining why you're here.
I'm just trying to do some good work.
He looks over to Dom.
My party members.
Please.
Dom is just one hand on his shoulder, patting it, but completely looking at the guard, and is just like, as my compatriot says, he's had it rough. We are just here for mercenary and adventuring type work. We've heard the city has had a lot of it recently, and we hope to pick up some of the slack that's been left.
Oh, well, there's a bunch of mercenaries being hired in town right now. There's a big battle coming up in a few days the troops are heading out for in a few days. If you're looking to sign up, the Adventuring Guild has troop sign-ups as well. Feel free anyways, you there. Do me a favor, buy the young man a drink. He looks like he's a mess and could need it.
I hold up my large bottle that's only got like a fourth of the booze left. Like, I'm covered now. Thank you.
You mentioned a upcoming battle.
Hey.
I was gonna try to get information on that.
He nods and goes, yes, the mercenaries have been hired. The group the Lord hired here is specifically good at taking cities. Climbing their walls is what the rumors are supposedly said. How they do it, I have no idea. But if they're being hired to round up the rest of the mercenaries and head up their vanguard, my assumption, in a few days, when the vanguard heads out and the army follows after that, they'll probably be taking the city of adventurers, something or other. The city, not about a half a month's journey north. Well, northwest, as he takes a second.
I do not understand a single word you just said.
I
think
I can tell you which way north is.
As Ned kind of pokes his head out, the guard kind of looks up and goes, "Are giants normally green?"
Just this one.
I think he ate a lot of plants as a child.
As you see Aldrin stick his head out as well.
Before I was born, my parents did a lot of.
He puts his hand up.
Experiments with plants.
Sir, no, please. I don't want to know your backstory. I don't get paid enough. There's nothing else. Can you lot kind of move along? There's a line behind you.
Huh?
Oh, would you like to donate to my grove? And I hold my bucket up.
Will it get you to leave faster?
If you tell me, yeah.
Quite faster.
He takes a gold coin out and puts it in the bucket as he walks up to it, slams it in there, and then points.
Thank you, sir. You're mighty generous. Yeah!
Yeah.
Mush! Mush!
As the wolf kind of starts taking off at top speeds, you hear the guard look to the other.
Burnout.
Yeah, a little cloud of dust. You hear the guards talking to each other, and he goes, Was that a lady or a dude? He goes, the other guard going, I don't know, I just called him sir because I assume everyone's a man at this point.
I scream at the top of my lungs. It's
right
a woman. It was a woman.
As you try shouting as the cart rushes off at top speeds into the
Why
city.
are you trying to subvert me, Caleb? Why are you doing this to me? I haven't done anything to you.
You hurt me last session.
I heard you last session.
All of you did, except for Ned, but Ned wasn't there.
Ned wasn't there to hurt you, buddy. Let's be honest.
Oh, as you start heading into the city is bustling. There are bakeries, there are brothels, there are shops of magical doodads, crystals, races of all kinds, adventurers, soldiers, knights. The city is bustling about as you, even with the heavy rain kind of coming down and the cloudy over sky, it still seems to keep about, as the city seems to be in a great mood. People are singing as you can hear musicians still performing with their windows open inside taverns. Yeah. As you guys start kind of walking about, the city is massive, and as you start to kind of get a full understanding of it, compared to him Purser's last hold, you'd guess the city is maybe 4 times the size. As Kesnock hiccups, kind of slowing down the wolf, I imagine.
Yeah, we should probably ask. If Kesnock is still absolutely hammered, Domnander will try to ask for directions to either the mercenary or one of the adventuring guilds. I don't know what state our leader's in right now.
Yeah, go ahead and let's as you start to kind of slow down to a crawl coming towards one of the smaller market districts.
Still an excellent driver, by the way. I feel like that nat 20 should keep me going for a while.
You see as some kind of like slightly scaled but slightly human or mammalian-looking creature, almost elvish in appearance. Although none of you have actually ever seen elves. Oh no, you have. You've seen because you saw Rollman. Looking similar, almost to Rollman, this elf, this kind of scaled elf comes walking over, seeing you kind of looking about. He walks, kind of jogs over to you lot and smiles in his bright leather tunic, long, smooth, golden, blonde hair, and 2 bright black eyes. He kind of looks up at you, Domnander, and goes, "You look lost, friend. How may I be of assistance?" He says in common.
We all speak common, right?
I assume so.
No.
Yep.
I do.
Assume so.
I really hope.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Oh, I guess with actually, except for Aldrin, I guess.
No, I speak common. I speak common. I was making a joke.
I think he was joking. I think we all speak
I
common.
don't know, man.
Yeah, so Domnander will kind of. I assume we're like on the carriage.
Yep.
And I am a tall person, so I'm definitely looking down at the elf. We'll kind of lean down a bit to go. Yes, we're just new to the city. We're looking for either the Mercenaries Guild or one of the Adventuring Guilds. I believe it's Gardens, Grace, and Humbling Horde are the names we heard.
He kind of looks up and goes, yes, the guild. And he stands about like roughly about 5'5", so he's about half of what Kesnock is in height. As he looks up and smiles, he goes, yes, the guilds are not too far from here. As he kind of points down down the main road, going down straight towards a large palace in the distance. It seems to almost divide the city in half. He kind of points down around midway as you see a bunch of large crowds about midway down this road, seeming to gather of multiple or mixed races. But he kind of takes a second as he looks, thinks, and he goes, I don't know of any mercenary guilds, but I know there's a mercenary quarters that's a giant field that's been fenced off on the outside the eastern gate. There's some crazy people there, though. There's a giant adventurer that's said to be that looks like a giant turtle. He wiped out an entire army by himself. I hear he is just a ferocious beast that eats nothing but bloody mush. One of my friends said that they saw him just devouring some sort of giant dark thing, a mass. I'm not sure what it was, but it went everywhere. He tore into it and shredded it. I'm not sure. I wouldn't recommend quartering up there right now if I were you.
Noted. I appreciate the warning. I don't know what's happening to Domnander's accent. He just gave a general direction to. Are they actually? I'll just ask in character. Are all the guilds in the same direction of the city?
He shakes his head and goes, Yeah, there's some. I mean, if you're interested, adventurers like to go about the bard schools. There's 3 of them in town, in fact. There's the merchant guild called Chisel and Cut. There's a few guilds that work throughout here. They don't all work on the main road. They're scattered kind of about. I can probably find a map somewhere. He kind of looks in, starts digging in his pockets, and kind of looks up at you expectingly.
Do we actually have a map? I'm checking my stuff right now.
I think maybe he's asking payment for
The-
information.
The elf looks up at Dom and kind of says, "The young lady's right."
Is that in character?
More drinking for me!
Like a very...
As Kezanog just shouts at holding the bottle, downing it.
Don't none there have a feeling of like... I guess would have a feeling of what is too much or too little payment for something like this?
You can try a sense motive.
Yeah, I'm gonna try sense motive because I'm not paying this person more than we need, but I don't want to underpay and then be labeled like an asshole.
I'm just
So that
staring
will
at the
be-
guy smiling at him behind Dom.
Oh,
Holding
I have to
out your
put the
bucket.
sheet.
Yeah.
Hold me! He's right behind me, isn't he? 18.
18. He kind of looking at you, and you're trying.
Money.
Oh, what are you trying to ascertain? Sorry.
Trying to judge if if I'm doing a sense motive, I'm gonna try to judge if he's legit or if he's just trying to scam tourists, and then I'm just trying to figure out from his memory of being like in Utham City and stuff, like what a good tip is to give to people who draw you maps.
Yeah.
Because also, quick question, because we had giant currency, right? Which was the crowns, the gems, and all that, and then
That is pretty much accepted globally from what you know.
Gotcha. Because I don't, because is the giant currency worth more than the dragon currency system?
Good question. You don't know. The dragons don't have their own currency system. They use the giants. There's only 2 currency systems in the world. There's the Calorium, which is used by the trolls, and then the rest of the world that uses the same stuff as the giants.
Okay, because I thought the rest of the world, besides the giants, used like the copper, the silver, the gold system.
Nope, we just do that so that way I save it time in campaign so you don't have to convert in your head.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just imagining Ned is holding out his bucket as soon as that coin is given.
No,
Just
Right
like,
back to
would
the party.
you like to make a donation?
the
He
guy,
smells the
I see the
money.
coin and just start heavy breathing.
with that though, as you look him up and down, you don't get a sense that he is trying to cause you any falsehood. He doesn't look like he is lying, and he doesn't give off any sense that he's lying. You kind of as you take a second to think about it, I mean, if he's an urchin, a gold piece, maybe 2, you don't probably have to pay him very much.
Oh wow, gold's that's a lot of money.
Good information doesn't
I
come
think-
cheap.
I was gonna say he's offering a map and he has given us good information. So I think Domnander will kind of, as he's like mentioning about getting a map and like looking at him, kind of signaling he won't say more without payment. First, Domnander takes out 2 gold coins and I guess we'll reach down because I'm so tall, but I have very long arms to offer them out.
He takes it and then kind of smiles sweetly as he looks up at Ned and shakes his head no as he pockets the coins. He hands you a little map with some like notes on it of like what places to avoid, what gangs control what areas, and then where all the local shops are.
He shook his
I'm gonna
head
write
no,
that
but
in
I'm
my
still
notes.
just blank stare smiling.
He kind of looks at you and then goes, "I'll tell you what. How about I trade you? How would you like a copper bucket?"
Whoa.
My interest is immediately peaked at this.
I bought one off some weird Genasi fella as he was traveling by town. He sold it for a gold piece. It's got some weird
Yeah.
marking on it.
Can I see this bucket, please?
Yeah, what kind of marking?
He kind of pulls. Again, it goes back to the little area where he was sitting on a blanket where his goods were all set out, and kind of goes digging through a box and comes back over. Seeing Kazanok still drinking, he kind of also you see he grabs something else as he comes walking over. He kind of sets down a bottle of wine on the side of the road, and then kind of holds up the bucket as he flips it over and looks at you and goes, "It says something in Dwarvish, but I don't know what this means."
I flick him a gold piece. I'll take it.
Oh, okay, sure. He takes the
Man
gold
says
piece.
he's gonna trade, and then Caleb pays him anyways.
He takes the gold piece and pockets it and goes, "Sure," and hands it to you. "It's all yours."
You don't understand. This bucket is more important than the majority of you to me right now.
Yes, but we could have got it without spending money, Caleb!
I don't give a damn.
I think what he does with his personal finances is up to his personal finances.
He kind of
Look, it's just a really neat bucket.
he slightly leans over, like kind of looking beyond Dom over at Kez, and like holds up the bottle of wine and goes, young lady, I can't help but notice you're a fan of the drink. If I may, this fine vintage usually goes for 50 gold pieces in my hometown, but I'll give it to you for 5.
Okay, now he's doing. Now I don't even need a sense motive to know. Now he's doing the tourist trap stuff.
As he smiles at you.
I'm done drinking now. I lock in.
I'm fully sober.
Are there any animals nearby?
I'm done.
There are merchants that are selling animals. There are carts kind of passing by with different horses and other creatures pulling them. Are you looking for something specific?
Just like, I don't know, if there was a squirrel or something.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of bouncing around.
There are, you do see trees out and about as much of the streets are kind of set up to have a lot of greenery and bushes kind of set up in between to add to the color of the city. You do see little bits of wildlife here and there, and yeah, there are squirrels in the tree. One noted that you see is a mini Fluffyoscus. They are considered to be tiny squirrels.
Aldrin,
Oh, well.
Yes.
Okay,
I'll give it right
keep
back.
that in mind.
I need to borrow that bucket. Real quick.
Donander leans away from Gezranok.
If you're gonna vomit in this bucket, I'm gonna have to ask you to not.
Aldrin, as your party leader, I'm asking politely to please see the bucket.
Oh,
Really? I really need to see that bucket.
Oh, wait! I recognize you as he looks up at Keznanok, the elf does once more, as Keznanok's about to vomit and goes, "Yeah, you're the one who, there's a young man who told me to give you this. I did a caricature just a few moments ago," and he holds up a picture of Zopip completely dressed as an adventurer and, like, showing off, like, new, some really, some spells you've never seen before. Kind of flexing while he does so.
Please, Aldrin, please. God, please. Oh, God. Give me-
As you turn back over, Aldrin is not there anymore.
Kid,
The kid, the young...
They say, Gezranok.
I'm so
Streets will
sorry.
do if they need to. I am dodging evasion. Avoidance.
Give me a reflex save, Dom. I'm gonna also have the kid do it.
Do I get advantage because I was already like subtly climbing out of
No.
the
No.
What?
Go ahead and roll though.
Okay. Okay. What's my reflex save?
Oh no.
Oh.
I needed Aldrin and he abandoned me. He is
Aldrin,
dead to me.
if I get covered in vomit because of this, I am taking that bucket by force.
You will have to pry it from my cold, dead hands.
That's perfectly
It would
fine.
not be the first time for us, buddy.
Aldrin has
Alright.
proven himself not a member of the party.
I've been hiding this for a reason. I will use it. Do not make me.
Do not make use.
He has a secret weapon.
I have a secret weapon. I will kill everyone in this party except for Ned. He's the
Good
chillest
God,
here.
you are a horrible person.
Mm-hmm.
19.
19. Yeah, you easily dodge out of the way as you're climbing down. Normally, as you're kind of focusing, trying to get down off the wagon, getting ready to take a step without catching yourself, as you look up and see as Kez is about to open his mouth, you jump and let go off the ladder, kind of falling back on your backside, and by looking up at the sky, but managing to avoid the vomit as it hits down. The elf dodging to the side as the poster gets completely ruined. The elf kind of looking up and going, "It was a joke. I was gonna try and sell that because some random guy came in and asked if he wanted it, and so he didn't want to buy it, and he wasn't gonna buy it. Hey, Jesus. Tell me how you really feel about my art." As he winds it back up and kind of puts it away, still covered in vomit, and you can kind of see as the liquid, it starts to kind of become wetter and wetter as he goes and sits back down and kind of sits at his blanket again.
Dom out there, who's like cautiously getting back into the carriage, will look at you.
Wiping off the mud.
I'm gonna need you to take the reins for a little bit.
I am surprised you did not need me to take the reins about, He looks back to the very gates of the city through to where we got off the ship. However many miles back we departed off the ship. And he will take the reins, and using the map, I managed to keep dry, find our way to the, out of character, do we think mercenary or adventuring guild? What do we think, guys?
I mean, I'm gonna be real. I know we should go to
adventuring guild.
I know we should, but I really want to see a fire-breathing turtle.
No, I don't think we should.
You're telling me that wouldn't be cool?
Nope, not at all.
No, I mean they are directly hiring. The question is, could we survive going to war?
I mean, I might as well
honestly,
probably just be told to go
if
slaughter
I
some things
was
nearby.
going to go to war, I'd probably stay on the back lines and provide medical services.
How far away are they from each other? Like, would it be feasible to stop by one and then stop by the other and kind of assess our options?
In a single day? No, I mean, it's
Did I hear Kez needs medical help?
Nope. No, I'm good. I took an anti-acid.
As
Papito Pizamal.
I would like to make sure that Kez does not have alcohol poisoning.
And by anti-acid,
alright, roll a heal
I
check.
took some random herbs I found on the side of the road.
Yeah, roll a heal check.
19.
Yeah, as you kind of look him over, he is definitely a little sick from the drink, but he's not poisoned. He's poisoned in a way. His natural alcohol is a poison, so in that sense, he is technically considered poisoned right now. But he's not suffering from alcoholic poisoning. As you kind of look him over, it doesn't make sense that he should have puked with that little in his stomach. But as you kind of think for a moment, given all the situation, maybe it was the romance that made his cheeks a little bit redder, all that like heart movement and fluttering, kind of, maybe it caused his stomach to be a little weaker.
Is the bottle out of Kez's hand?
Oh yeah, it's empty. Yeah.
It's empty.
I would like to fill it up with enough water that it looks like he's still drinking.
Okay.
But they'll be drinking water.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to help.
As he pours water, or as he kind of pours water into the bottle, where there was a brown like a sweet liquid a moment ago that was alcohol. As you pour it in, kind of setting off to the side, it fills up with water after a few minutes. It is still a foot long. Yeah, go ahead.
Ned, where'd you get that water from? I need to ask.
Don't worry about it.
If you donate to the grove, you'll find out the secret.
Oh no.
Just know that I know nature and trust me, friend.
Oh.
Imagine as Ned kind of puts the water or the jug of water now right into Keznok's hand.
Ned, you're probably one of the only people that I know that wouldn't intentionally try to do me harm. Next up would be Dom after that. And Aldred, he's not on that list.
Olgin, who reappears now, standing outside the wagon, looking inside the cart.
I just
I'm
hope you
offended.
can tell me more about your little boyfriend.
Oh, please, I would love to know more about that.
I'm
These
so-
must have been an interesting 9 months.
Listen, Ned,
You see the elf's head pop in and goes, "Wait, so she did have a boyfriend? I want to hear about that." And he kind of pulls out some popcorn.
And
The details.
Mushes the wolf before Kazanok explodes.
I'll hang on to the carriage and very quickly just start blurting out random bits of tea that doesn't make any sense to it didn't happen. It's all made up. Oh yeah, they go way back. They go way back, all right? You know, star-crossed lovers met under the full moon in an open meadow. It was simply romantic.
Forced into an arranged marriage, but fell in love later. They're second cousins. They're just like the most random miscellaneous. And they were roommates.
As you say all this, Uldrin, you kind of saying this as Kez and Ned kind of just look at you and just kind of slight amazement at the bullshit you're pulling out up here. Also the fact that the guy about a mile ago had fallen off the cart and kind of dropped into the mud. You've been talking to yourself most of the time.
I'm just too into the tea, man.
Did you say, Royce, that we could get to both
Yeah,
in the same
it should
day?
be. It shouldn't be more than an hour's journey between the two.
So, Thunder will just go to whichever one is slightly closest first.
Kesnanok starts
Demons.
speaking in tongues. All right.
Thunder's gonna look at Ned and be like, Ned, could you swap spots with Kesnanok and control the wolf while I map out our course?
Well, where are we trying to go?
Well, Thunder will. Which one's slightly closer? If not, I'll make it. I'll make a call.
As you look about, I mean, it could be either or. You're not familiar enough. As you look at where both of them are on the map, it looks roughly like it's an even split at this point.
Yeah. Okay. The Mercenary Guild. I'm intrigued in what is happening with the upcoming battle. I think perhaps joining might be a bit much, but knowing, it's always better to know than to not know. Yes.
Well, let me see what I can do. I would like to cast Speak with Animals.
Oh.
Okay.
Fuck you.
So I'm just gonna look at the wolves as they're walking and be like, "You know where the Mercenary Guild is, by chance?"
Looks over at you and goes, "God, you're the fourth druid today that's talked to me. I don't know. My master. I know there's a bunch of men in shining shells a bit back that way towards the east. I don't know about guild. I've heard guild mentioned every time places where I'm tied up outside of. This was like a field where I could pee anywhere."
Let me see. That might be the way we need to go. And I'll turn to Dom. People with big shiny metal shells?
I need to stop for a moment and know if Ned sounds like he's speaking a foreign language or if he sounds like he's making wolf noises.
He's just he's just
wolf noises.
Yeah, he's just barking at and howling. Yeah.
So Dom watches this, doesn't say anything, thinks about his life choices, and when Ned is just like, "Oh, there's people with metal shells in this direction," Dunder's just gonna be like, "Tell the wolf I say thanks," and we'll just go that way. I'm just not gonna argue. Yeah. I'm just gonna go with it.
Yeah, we want to go that direction.
Yes.
They said you're a good dog. You'll get a bone when we get there.
It kind of turns, and the wolf that was pulling another cart kind of turns. You were just talking to turns that cart around, starts guiding you towards it. The driver freaking out as he's like yelling at the wolf and like throwing his like leather at it, and snapping it. And he's as it starts to guide you, your cart pulling direwolf kind of like starts to follow after it.
Ned, I got a question for Ned. I know you promised that wolf a bone. Where do you plan on getting that bone from?
We've got rations.
Oh no, I said y'all promised it a bone.
That's the
Okay,
biggest
Ned,
donut
where do
is
you
not
think
from
we
it.
get bones from?
Well, I mean, we're
We
gonna have
don't
to
know
kill
what he said.
something.
From the
I thought you were
butcher.
just killing animals.
I'm not talking about an animal bone. Fuck it.
What do you... And,
We don't know
Ned,
this
Ned,
character,
listen.
sadly.
Better
Hold
drop your
on.
morals for a minute.
Ned,
Ned.
bones come from animals.
And people.
People are
Listen,
also
I'm saying-
animals, Ned.
He said that in Wolf. We don't know what he promised.
Well,
He
that's
told
true.
us in common.
You hear a guard go, you hear that? Something about they're going to be stealing some people's bones? Do you think we should arrest them? The other guard goes, no, I think they're idiots. Yes.
Donald nods along as the guards are speaking. Just
Oh.
subtly
You'd
as
be
he's
correct.
driving.
Mildred sticks his head out saying that. One of the guards looks out back and goes, you know, you saying that does you? He turns and kind of like heads down an alleyway with the other guard disappearing.
I no longer feel safe traveling with this party. I put my mask on.
What?
As he pulls his head back in.
You don't feel safe!
My mascot. He'd rather be associated with a criminal alias than be seen with us.
As you lot go, God damn it. As you lot go following off to this with this other cart, you see the other wolf cat comes to a stop right outside this eastern gate. You see a couple of soldiers that are a bit more well dressed. Some of them that look to be wearing some fancier plate and carrying a couple of different items that don't look like something you give to a standard soldier. Some carrying like unique daggers and swords and such. One of such an older, grizzled-looking kobold, an actual kobold being about 3 feet tall and with a long, like golden jaw, very bright eye patch over one eye, comes walking over, seeing you lot as the other cart's wolf kind of starts running off again as the owner starts yelling at it and like smacking it with its like the cart whip. I forget what they're called. But as the mercenary kind of comes over looking at you, or what you assume to be the mercenary, he looks up at you, Dom, and goes, can I assist you? He speaks in Giant.
Oh, Donald kind of looks a little impressed here in Giant and will speak and go, yes, we are here to see about potentially joining or taking up some jobs with the Mercenary Guild. We heard you were looking into hiring new members lately.
Well, yeah, we're looking. There's work to be done. I'm hiring, if you will. I'm looking for more to sign on. I'm heading up this situation right now while Neff and his group are not in town. As far as it goes, if you're looking for work, I'm not gonna be dishonest with you a lot, but it kind of like pokes his head into pokes a stick against the wagon's flap and kind of looks back in, seeing the rest of you lot. He goes, you're kind of unarmored, as he kind of closes the flap back up and looks up at you.
My state of underdress is intentional. And as he speaks, he kind of, as he grips the reins, idly, like, flexes his knuckles a bit, and just looks at the others and is like, I
literally have scale mail on. Like,
Mother
what are
Earth
you-
won't
what are you
let me
talking
wear
about?
armor.
Yeah, half your party doesn't wear armor, so, from his perspective, yeah.
I think perhaps we still will have our use. Unarmored or not, if you don't want to throw us into the front lines, we can do other things.
I am a
Scouting
field
would be
medic,
a
if
strong
that
suit.
matters.
We have,
Well-
yes, a medic. This
Alright.
one is able to speak to animals and take note of anything of nature, and he gestures to Ned.
And Uldren over here is dishonest.
He is able
think
I
to
can
that's a weird
also
way.
figure out which way north is.
That's my way of saying sneaky.
He kind of takes a second and looks at you all again and goes, It's nothing personal, but, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I think our turtle might eat you. You're,
I know.
he kind of looks you up and down again. You don't look like you're equipped for the kind of warfare work we're looking at. If you're looking to do healing work and medical work, you're not looking for the mercenary quarters. As he looks up at Kesnok, sweetheart, you're looking for going and asking the regular soldiers for something like that.
I mean, that's why I kind of said let's go to the Adventurers Guild, but
That is
people
our
just
next
don't listen to me
rest
anymore.
assured.
He looks over at Dom and goes, "You should really handle your wife sometime. She's a bit snippy there."
Oh no.
All right,
She's-
I'm gonna walk. I'll see you guys there.
Thunder shakes his head as Kisnaka's leaving. Goes, no, he has someone else, long distance.
As Kesnok climbs out of the back of the cart.
Everyone, why do you do this to me? I've done nothing to any of you.
As he rides the cart up next to Kesnanok, keeping pace with it, will look and go, "Do you want to walk? Because we are going to the Adventuring Guild next."
The mercenary just turns and goes back to his job and heads back off then.
I do it with love.
Uldren says as the wagon goes flying off, leaving Kesnanok behind.
Say hi
Alright.
to the turtle for me.
How far was it? Like an hour drive away from
An hour's ride, yep. So as you head off at a... Yeah.
I'd say my plan is for Thunder to go like 10 minutes ahead and then wait, and then by the time Kesnanok arrives, I'm sure Kesnanok will be worn out in his scale mail and desperate to get around.
Yeah, Kesnanok, so...
Casually coasting.
As you watch as your party kind of heads off on the wagon, leaving you behind, the town is, while it's raining and the roads are slightly muddy, it seems to be pretty active. People are still about talking and laughing. Some kids kind of pointing over to you. You hear one of them say something in Draconic. Do you speak Draconic by chance?
Let me double check. I don't think I do though.
I do.
No, but you're not there.
Yeah, but shut up, Caleb.
Haven't you done enough damage to this
Haven't
family?
you done enough to me? Yeah, I only speak Common and Giant, so I don't speak Draconic.
You see these little kobold-like kids kind of pointing up to you, and then pointing up to their and then smiling and laughing with their parents as they kind of go walking about the market. Guards kind of passing by, kind of eyeing you up as they pass by. One kind of smiles at you and gives you a wink as he does so. Burchett's kind of trying to get your attention, going about, and you finally see a young-looking, like half-giant, what you immediately pick up. They seem to be dark-skinned, dark hair, about your height, roughly, Kesnanok. Slightly well-built, like very well-muscled arms, very well-muscled chest, wearing commoner's leather clothing. They seem to have a large bow on their back, as well as a couple of daggers at their side as they come over. And as he smiles, he looks up at you and goes, "My name is Tulvar." He kind of holds out a hand. "I've not met any other giants my own height. I hope you don't mind if we speak a moment."
Well met, Tolvar. I'm Kesnanok. And I'll also shake his hand.
You feel a firm shake, very similar to what you recognize as a craftsman, as he seems to give a bit heartier of a shake as he does so. He kind of smiles and goes, "I couldn't help but notice you guys were bothering with the mercenary quarters. Are you guys looking for work, or you and your party?"
Yes, my party was interested in trying to find some decent work in this town.
Well, there's a group that's always looking to hire if you're interested. It's a little bit darker of work, but it pays very well.
What kind of dark work?
Well, he kind of leans up to you and kind of gets close to your ear, not trying to do anything, as you kind of see he's trying to whisper something to you. He goes, "There's been rumors of a necromancy guild that's been popping up, that's been stealing the dead's bodies unjustly from the graveyards and using them to stalk the streets at night, killing and stealing from people."
Go on.
Well, the guild I work for, not my guild in all fairness, the guild I work for, they hire out adventurers for these kind of jobs that the adventuring guild can't really put out because it would be, anybody can see those in a sense, and some of these cult members, if you will, are part of the adventuring guild. The system kind of a little corrupt in the background, as you can imagine. These necromancers are always a filthy lot. My organization stands against them, if you will. If you are interested, I'd be happy to get you in contact with them and maybe get you a job or two.
I would be interested in taking down some necromancers. It's what I do. At least what I'm trying to do.
Can I attempt to sense motive him?
You are not there. You are on the wagon about
that's right.
about 2 blocks away.
Disregard.
Yeah. He smiles and goes, "Yeah, no problem." He kind of pulls out a little card and he goes, the Kinky Buckle. Now I know what you're thinking. Don't before you think it's a cover name. All right. My I guess you could call her my sister. Runs the place. Go there and ask her for my name, and you'll be welcomed in. As he smiles.
Royce, can I get his name written down?
Yeah.
I was about to ask.
Oh, sorry, I misspelled that.
Oh, is it with a U or?
It's with an I.
Totally.
Oh.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I got it double wrong. I did O.
He kind of
V-A-R.
he takes his hand off you and smiles as he goes. I recommend, if you will, don't go out at night unless you're capable. The turtle stalks at night. As he kind of walks, bows and starts to walk away.
Thank you, Tolder.
As you say this, you watch as he disappears around a corner and vanishes.
And it was the Kinky what?
The Kinky Buckle.
The Kinky Buckle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ran by his supposed sister. As you continue kind of walking about the market, a couple of merchants kind of smile over towards you. As you finally get closer to the wagon, you see as a merchant seems to be kind of approaching a well-dressed, what looks to be somewhat orcish-looking fellow, almost with a very snub nose, a bit more humanoid in height, so being around 6 foot-ish. Comes kind of walking over towards your guys' wagon as he sees Kezinok walking up towards it. Kezinok, you see your party kind of waiting. Their wagon kind of parked off to the side. The merchant comes over to you though, Domnander, and kind of looks at your wagon and goes, and then looks at your dire wolf and goes, "Are you from Hrim Purser's last hold? I had a friend of mine, an associate of mine there. If I may ask, if you had happened to run into him, I would love to hear if any news of the area, or if you've heard any news of him."
Go ahead and ask. Perhaps we have.
I have a friend, Kix Morin, a young merchant who had been sent off. He, sweet young gentleman. Last I'd seen him, we used to do business together. He was in Hrim Purser's last hold. The only place where I've seen these dire wolves sold. So, if you've heard of him.
I'm gonna sense motive him.
Okay. What are you trying to find out?
Why? I mean, Dunlander's not stupid. There are tons of people, someone would ask about someone, and they're not always friendly. He's trying to determine if he's genuinely just a friend of Jakix who's worried, what potentially trying to guess if their, like, relationship, trying to guess if maybe he's, like, someone who has it out for him and is just trying to get information. Dunlander's trying to get a read on what he wants and then determine if it's bad idea to associate with Jakix.
Yep.
Because of this. Not a great roll. Only an 11.
You get a gut feeling that this gentleman seems to be someone somewhat dangerous, but at the same time, he doesn't seem to be a threat, as you don't see any weapons or any obvious scarrings or markings that shows this person's capable of combat or capable of really anything. As you look him up and down, he looks drastically average. You get really nothing from him.
Donander will kind of glance him over and just, deciding, given his experience, what happened with Jakix, he's not very intent on trying to protect him from anything. So although he knows this individual is dangerous, we'll just go, yes, I wouldn't say we're friends or compatriots, but we briefly saved him from a dangerous situation, and I believe the guild he is in believes themselves to be in a bit of a favor to us for it.
He kind of nods and goes, interesting. Well, since you've given me this information so freely, I should give you some advice, I feel, in return. You and your compatriots, as he sees Kesnok kind of walking around, kind of rounding the wagon, he goes, I would not recommend opening yourselves up to strangers in the city of bards, as he kind of gives a smile and goes, it's common that most of the people here don't show their true emotion and feelings or their true face. Keep in mind while you're here. And he kind of smiles as he turns and walks away.
Donander takes note that that probably means Jakix might be a little bit fucked and will not feel morally bad about it. That's his problem to solve.
As you assume this and see him walk off, you watch as Kesnok kind of rounds around the wagon. Kesnok, your party kind of just parked their wagon and seemed to be waiting for you as they seem there. You gonna walk past them, or
I'm
are you
still
gonna
talking with the wolves.
Oh, are you? Just any that passed by, or yours specifically?
Ours. The whole
Okay.
time we sat, I've just been having a heart-to-heart with it.
Roll me a handle animal. Let's see how you do with this, Ned. What do you say into it?
He exposes all of his druidic secrets to the wolf.
The pyramid
I
scheme.
explained to him the short period of my life where I was raised by wolves, and I rolled an 11.
Nice. With an 11, the wolf kind of seems to nod along, and then the wolf smiles at you and goes, "Oh, it reminds me of the time I tore a child from its mother's arms and watched as she cried, and I ate its head as she screamed. It was such a joyous evening."
Yeah, those were usually pretty good nights for the wolves. I didn't really partake. I usually just clubbed them and then left.
Yes, those sticks were
Not the
quite
child, usually.
annoying. I learned how to what they call the giants call fetch. If you take their giant sticks away, they can't hurt you with them, and then you can bite them more freely. My favorite is I've learned that if you go for the larger and more aggressive ones, central area between their legs, they seem to make this high-pitched squeaking noise. It's quite entertaining if you keep biting down on it. They keep making the noise.
Those are good spots, and if you can get up high, go for the eyeballs.
He nods along.
You'll win.
The two of you have a heart-to-heart over this with this creature's creepy background. You watch as
I'll teach him something.
Ned is in the background having a full-on just barking and howling with the wolf, who seems to be nodding and barking and growling back.
It gets real sad at one point. You just hear whimpering between the two.
A slight stop as the wolf kind of unhatches itself, pulling the leather off, and goes over and gives Ned a hug, and then goes back to its cart.
Dom's just watching this. He's not gonna intervene. He's just watching this go down and is just waiting inevitably for a tired, sweaty Kesnok.
I was gonna say, Kez, are you going to get on the wagon the first time, or are you just gonna continue walking?
I'm just, when I've seen him the first time, I'm gonna be like, you guys done?
I was more going to ask if you were done with your lovely walk.
I'm an incredibly fit giant.
Looks pointedly at the map.
You hear, as you said, one of a passerby call over towards Kesnok. Yeah, she's an independent woman who don't need no man. You tell her, sweetheart. I know Hunter's gonna get me back for this later.
Yeah.
I can feel this.
Away from the computer, I can tell.
No, I'm still here.
Kesnok, you are starting to build a small fan base amongst some of the more interesting and unique gentlemen amongst the city. Beats his chest proudly as he hammers against it with his fist, reminding himself that he's a master smith.
I'm a man. I am a jeweler. I am good with a hammer.
And that involves you getting in the car. How?
As Dom looks over at Kez, he's got, I imagine, eyes closed, like walking himself through
I'm
this.
trying to give myself words of affirmation, and here comes Dom. No, I think I'm gonna.
What are words of affirmation?
I think I'm gonna continue walking.
I just yelled to the wolves, "Stop him!"
Oh,
Good God!
all right. The wolves, a couple of the wolves are pulling some of the carts, and some of the owlbears that were also around and helping out with some of the larger carts, like oxen, seem to start swarming around you out of nowhere, Kesnok. You count 10, 20, 30 that start to just, like, get all around you and, like, staring at you, waiting. People are shouting as their carts, like, pulled towards you and, like, now stuck there in, like, a traffic jam.
I literally deadpan towards Ned.
Do you want to? You realize as party leader, you do have to help clean up the messes he's making.
Oh, am I the party leader? Am I? Am I really?
One of the guys on the carts goes, "Can you have this conversation when my mount here, Sir Jolly the Third, is not stuck here staring at this young lady who won't stop shouting in the middle of the road?"
Get on the
They're
cart.
on their way to look that
You see some young lady poke her head out and goes, "Can you just get in the cart, young miss? It's really you're blocking up traffic."
I just want to walk! I want a peaceful walk! I just want to be in my own mind! Just leave me alone!
Some of the guards kind of come pushing through as they see this, seeing Kesnok having a freak out, and them being storm giants themselves, the two, they come walking over and kind of get on either side of Kesnok and say, "All right, young sir, you're under arrest. You need to come with us for disturbing traffic here."
Thank God! Take me away from these people!
As he says this, putting his hands out, exemplifying, shouting it, you watch as the iron collars are put on there. Go ahead, Dom.
At the same time, Thunder, as Kesnok is getting arrested, will not intervene because that is something the party can deal with later, and Kesnok is seemingly willing. So, like, as he's Dom is just basically going to treat as though she is just the enemy's getting to me, as though he is just a random crazy person in the street, and if questioned, just be confused.
The guards don't even look over at you, and you see what the other one of them pulls out a scroll, and as he reads it off out loud, you see as he starts speaking and starts barking, as many of the creatures start kind of moving about and going about their business. Ned, you hear the guards say in the same language you were just speaking a moment ago to the creatures, say, "You are now dismissed. Move on, or your owners will be taken to jail." As many of them seem to sigh, one of them saying, "I don't know what jail is," and another saying, "I've been there, they cut your bowls off."
Oh no! Us away from Kez being arrested.
What was that, Ned? Sorry.
Does that mean our wolves start wheeling us away from Kez being arrested?
Yep, he starts to move.
Yeah, it does.
As the guards kind of start walking, funny enough, the same direction you guys are actually marching towards. Though after a few minutes, you watch as a gate opens up, and seems to, as the guards walk through, Kesnok, find yourself on the other side inside of a bright colored prison cell with pretty much by yourself, just a simple stone room that seems to be, as you look about, looks to be underground, with large steel or iron bars in front of it and a simple gate to get out.
As we split off, Kez just hears me go, I don't really know what it means, but I've heard you should not drop the soap.
The
Oh,
last,
don't worry. He won't be in there long enough. I'll make sure his boyfriend knows to bail him out.
I imagine the last thing that is heard is Kesnok angry yelling in the background. Not at being arrested, just for being called a woman once more.
It just, as I get in that cell, it's just a great big exhale. It's like, finally, inner peace.
One of the guards looks at you and goes, "Alright, you're gonna be held here until someone comes to collect you, or the Lord decides to deal with you. Enjoy your stay. Dinner is in a few hours."
Thank you.
And he goes walking out, not even scaring you, leaving you with all your equipment on you.
Appreciate you, man.
As we jump back, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna spend my time just praying.
All right. As you start to go into a quiet meditation, praying to your God, you kind of just focus in and relax. Go ahead and give me a wisdom check in the background, just outright. And we'll see
Your
what...
God comes to say, what the
18.
fuck are you doing?
All right. As you kind of start to rest for a moment, the last thing you start to see as you start to kind of fade into almost a sleep, a restless sleep as you meditate, an almost like hypnotic-like state, if you will, or trance. That's what I'm looking for. As you start to kind of fall into this trance, you hear from your goddess, "Someone's on their way." And you get a shiver down your spine. As we jump over to the other party, we see you a lot driving down the main road, coming down finally to the crossing, where on one side the nicer where the nicer buildings seem to be, many of the humanoid-like beings, seemingly working about their day job. Many of them seem to be going into the one guild on the right, as you see the sign on it that says Garden's Grace. The second one on the other side, where you see some creatures that catch your attention as very strange. You see a large-looking beholder-like creature that you recognize almost immediately as a beholder from the books that most of you have read or heard or seen, or even the wanted posters of the Pale Eye that are sprouted out throughout many of the towns. This creature seems to be sitting there alongside a giant turtle who is like covered all their mouth in this red liquid-like substance that seems to be kind of drooling out of their face. A semi-normal looking elf that looks to be kind of annoyed at all the group that's sitting at the table, and a walking, talking chest that seems to transform into a head, then a pile of cash or of coins, and then back into a walking chest. They seem to be surrounded by a couple of other parties that are very monstrous in their appearance, a few minotaurs and other such creatures that you have never seen before. As you look off to the right, you see a much finer establishment. Looks to have a large garden on the side of it. The building itself looks to be almost designed as if to be a house with a second story on it to act as an inn. You look about between the two guilds. Which would you like to go to?
Remind me which one had the beholder and the mimic?
That is the Humble Horde Adventuring Guild. As you look over at the sign that has a horde of gold like piled up and a little dragon sleeping on it.
I wish the dragon was real. And then the other one does not have a bunch of monsters, and so is therefore much more boring.
Yes, but it has a large garden on the side of it. You see people kind of enjoying what looks to be tea, and drinking, relaxing and joking about. The house, it looks more like a house that's been converted into an inn.
So Dumbledore's going to look at the beholder and just get so many, like, no one else in the party would probably notice because we're just now pulling up, but he's getting so many flashbacks to all of the hunts he's been on in Utham in which they killed and gutted and hunted and tracked beholders, and is just going to look at Ned and be like, Ned, look, that one has a garden. We should go look at that one. I think you would be interested, yes?
Is it the beholder? I think it is, DM.
It is.
You would also notice it does not have a mouth. It has more like a kind of a beak.
It does.
And
And little tentacles coming out of its chin.
Olander is attempting very hard not to look at the beholder because it seems to be a peaceful resident of the city, and murdering or attempting to murder a peaceful resident of the city probably would not go well. So
you say that as you look over and see the little treasure chest kind of turn into a shocked-looking head of a troll, as if it right before.
Did not say that out loud. Did not say that out loud.
No.
Well, you don't have to say it out loud. Well, maybe for dudes. I guess I'm not there yet.
Yeah, don't. I can read your thoughts. Please don't.
No. Downunder's going towards the nature-themed one, and is just using Ned as an excuse to go to the nature-themed one.
Yeah, as you turn to the right, walking into Garden's Grace, the kind of parking your cart outside, the wolf kind of sits down and lays on the ground. You see as comes out of the house comes in this most very angelic like voice, kind of as you hear slight singing coming from inside the guild. You see a kobold come running out wearing a light mask around their face as well as some thick robes around them. They come smiling out as they have this like obsidian-like coloration to their scales. They're a little bit larger and very obviously female and slightly motherly looking. As they come out and they go, "Well, howdy, I'm Lorenze. Allow me to introduce myself. I hope you don't mind staying here at our little humble abode of Garden's Grace. How may I help you tall lot?"
How do you spell that name?
Don't worry, I have it written out.
That is both Dom's thought and my thought, and that is not at all what I guessed.
Gives you a sign of what this might be.
Yeah. Oh boy. Dolander immediately, I think, is just going to grab Ned by whatever collar, clothes, whatever, if he's not already at the front, and kind of just bring him forward to talk to the nature people. We're looking for work, and my friend here is very adept at things involving nature and animals. Perhaps you should speak about your passions.
She looks up at Ned and goes, "You remind me just of the young man that I was my biggest fan when he was little. He's all grown up now and running a lot of things now. But how can I help you? You said you're interested in plants. I mean, we've got a garden full of herbs."
Was the young man's name Joe?
No.
Joe Mama?
She looks up at you and goes, "I'm confused."
Oh, it's just an old joke from back home.
Oh, maybe it should stay in the past then. She kind of sniffles at that. She looks up at you.
Damn.
I think I like the monsters better, Dom.
She kind of spits at that and goes, "Those filthy monsters, ever since they moved in across the street, have been causing me nothing but issues. Nasty bastards chasing away my business."
Where are you two from? I can't help but notice your accents are slightly similar.
Laurence kind of looks at you and smiles and goes, "Oh, technically I'm from Dragon's Crown, but my young son took us here when we landed into the city. He wanted to start anew, if you will. Didn't want to be put under someone else's control."
Dragon's what? Crown?
Yes.
Okay, I'm writing this all down. Donander looks at Ned to see if that registers.
Does it?
As far as it goes, yeah, actually Well, you're from the continent, so yeah, you would know Dragon's Crown is the capital of the Movasi Empire.
I would relay that.
What does Dome Nonder know about the Movasi? I imagine not much, given.
Well, from what Falthar, Falthar, Utham would have talked about Dragon's Crown, and the few times he would have been in the area and anywhere near it, or you would have been near it. It was a bit of a thriving metropolis of magic. It's known as the jewel of all of Dragonlands. It is the birthplace of dragons. It is said to have been the capital for the many dragon empires throughout the many ages prior to this age, if you will. And yeah.
Noted. And what race is this woman again?
She is a kobold.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So, draconic. He will kind of look around to see if there's any sort of like job board or anything similar, and we'll just be like, well, we are passing through to speak to all the guilds, but what kind of work are you in need of assistance with? We are quite... he kind of looks towards Ned and Uldren and the wolf, because Nanak is not here, and go, diverse in our skill set.
She nods and goes, well, given your lot, how desperate are you for money?
He looks more at the others to answer that.
I hold up my coin purse, kind of jingle it for a second, put it back. I got 8 gold pieces.
We are in, we could very much use the employment if you are offering it.
Well, if you're looking for easy work, we have a festival planned for the 2 days before the troops are heading off to war. We are looking for musical entertainers, if any of you have any bard skills around here, though you will be competing with locals from the 3 bard schools. She kind of takes you back into the building, as you start to see some of the other races drinking, the smell of flowers kind of, permeating throughout the area, the many, like, green vines kind of growing out throughout this wooden building, kind of, sprawl throughout, and many of the flowers that seem to as well, kind of shows how well in nature this, place is, as well taken care of it is. She smiles as she takes you over to a board and goes, we've got some goblin exterminations and some hobgoblin exterminations around here, but thanks to that chaotic turtle that's across town, he wiped out half an army. I don't know how many goblins are still left, though there's gotta be stragglers looking for somewhere to go. Although, be careful, I heard one of the elders were spotted outside of town recently. The Ironhide Armadillo Hunt, you got that. Makes some good cash. You look like you could use the hide itself. She kind of turns and smiles at as she winks over towards Uldren. She looks back over at the board and goes, there's Mistvale pups, capturing them, flower picking. If you feel brave and want to take on the Masked Elder, you can try to go take on that quest. I hear a reward from Greg's Martom's lordship. And besides that, the hedge warders, guards, duty, it's just basically going to a small town that's being set up. Greg's Martom is setting out what you call, a new town to be built, and they need people to go to guide them to the spot and guard them while they set up the first house to kind of set up the fort and get everything organized.
Are these the job postings where they have like a physical piece of paper you grab
yes.
with information like to take with you?
Correct.
Domander's going to go up and he waits to see if the party gives input, but I assume we're gonna have to bail out Kesnanak before we choose. Do either of you have a preference? I have some in mind I'm going to grab as he's like pulling them off the board.
Sorry, I was drinking.
I don't.
Not again. Not like Kesnanak.
No, this is a McDonald's Sprite.
What's a
It's so-
McDonald's?
Something far worse than alcohol. Trust me.
uh, um, does Aldrin or Ned have any jobs they wish Donut to grab off the board?
Well, I think we might be very proficient in extermination. I'm not sure if we are willing to take that chance of dealing with a potential elder.
Mm-hmm. Donut nods along. I'm typing down what I'm grabbing, so do give me just a quick second.
Yep.
And yeah, I scrolled all the way back to find that, but thank you. Okay. Let's do. So down, you would see down under grab.
If you want a few moments to take a second to take a look at, we can jump back over to Keznok real quick.
Yes.
If you would like to, we can see if Keznok dies before I grab some of these quests.
As Dom, and Ned and Uldren, well, mostly Dom and Uldren, as Ned just kind of sits there, not really caring much. I imagine kind of talking to the wolf once more, and some of the other animals that kind of permeate throughout the bar and kind of seem to go towards Ned. As the three of you kind of start to watch or look over the quests and start debating on which ones would be easiest, looking at the map, kind of contemplating, given your own experience. Ned kind of pointing towards the goblin extermination. We'll jump over to Keznok real quick. Keznok, as you sit waiting inside these bars, it's been 2 or 3 hours since you arrived. Food came and went. It was some sort of soup that was more gray than it was anything else. You hear there are other people kind of talking to themselves in a few cells down from you, and a couple of screams here and there. Otherwise, it's been quiet. There hasn't been a guard since. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Nope.
All right. As you kind of sit there waiting, about another half an hour waiting goes by, and you hear as a guard comes down, jingling some very loud keys as he comes walking over and goes, "Are you Keznok?" As he rings his keys against the bars.
Yes, that would be me.
Your employer has apparently bailed you out.
Employer?
That's what title he gave. And he goes to open the door. As he pulls it open, the sounds of the metal kind of grinding on metal. He goes, watch your head.
Oh, of course, thank you.
As you kind of come out, you see as he slams the thing behind you, and he goes, "You're lucky. Most of the guys who end up down here end up going and dealing with the statue treatment. Yes, I was expecting you to get the same."
What's the statue treatment?
Well, I guess you'll find out if you ever come back now, won't you?
Is it like some kind of like petrification thing?
Oh no, Greg's Martom's not that cruel. That would be horrible if our lordship did that. No, it's much worse. But as he kind of takes you up through some stairs and up their doorway, as you get to the door, kind of cracking it open, you see it waiting out front of a large table that's been set aside with a couple of other guards, some other people kind of waiting off to the side. Your familiar compatriot and attempted seducer, Zilpip himself, standing there waiting for you.
You know, in my mind, as me, the player, I'm like, it's gonna be Zilpip, isn't it? Oh, God.
As you come out, the guard kind of goes up behind you, closing the door, and goes, this is your employer. He, sir, you can see the young sir is fully all right. He's in your custody now. Thank you for paying the bail of 1,000 gold pieces. We appreciate your donation to the court.
Of course. I'll make sure he doesn't cause any more trouble.
Or don't, and we'll take the cash.
Well,
He smiles.
either way.
But yeah, as Zilpip, or as you're brought out, the cuffs are taken off of you, and you're set free, Kesdanok, into Zilpip's custody. As Zilpip kind of walks you out, I imagine kind of letting you go off to do your thing, just kind of giving a waning smile or something of the sort. But go ahead, Zilpip.
Oh, 100%.
Alright. Kesdanok, do you have any other reactions or comments?
Thanks.
As you turn to walk away, heading back, you remember where your party had mentioned about heading down a main road, and start kind of jogging your way down. About another...
Yeah, some cardio to clear the mind, you know?
Yeah, mostly also to get away from the situation as quick as possible. As you go slightly jogging away, kind of dipping in between the crowd, about half an hour of running gets you to finally arriving at the guild, seeing your party kind of sitting inside, looking over a couple of quests that they've kind of narrowed down between, as they seem to be talking at the bar. The young or the older looking kobold kind of coming to the door as she hears the bell ringing, smiling and seeing you and going, young adventurer, how may I be of assistance? She kind of takes a second to pause, looking you up and down.
I'm just here to get back with my party.
Oh, feel free. And she kind of like gestures over to the group, kind of seeing you, looking at them, and smiles. If you need anything to eat or drink, feel free to just let me know, sweetheart.
Good enough. We have
she turns and she calls some very manly storm giant the same thing.
Okay, that's much better. Alright, I'm a little more content. Okay.
Did you get bailed out or did you break out? As you approach the party and Down Under's noticed you coming.
I respect the laws of the land. I would never break out of a prison that I did not deserve to be in. I was bailed out.
Was it as
I do not
calming
wish to
and enlightening
continue
as you
this. I do not wish to continue this line of questioning.
Well, another line of questioning then. What are your thoughts on these quest options? And Down Under spreads out the ones he grabbed off the board, which are the flower picking quest, the Mistveil Pup capture quest, the Hedge Warders travel quest, and also on the side, but he slips it around in a way that Ned won't see, specifically to Tesnanok, the Hunter's training quest.
Tell me about this. This one, I tap on the hunting training quest.
Do you need the assistance reading common?
I'm still a little buzzed, and I'm seeing twice right now. I can't read at this moment. Please, I want you to read this to me.
Domnander could tell exactly what is going on here, but nonetheless, we'll pick it up and read. But that he will pick up and read and say, they are wanting some merchants to be taught by proficient hunters how to hunt. Given you were in the past days before our trip hunting actively, and we're all aware of it, I figured you, as a avid hunter, proficient hunter, great hunter, could show these poor merchants a thing or two. Wouldn't you agree, Ned? And looks directly over at Ned and offers out the paper.
Ned comes off. Give Ned a sec. He's coming off mute.
I look down at the paper and read it, and I take it mentions hunting.
Ned, who's been zoned out this entire thing,
I'm
staring
going
at the
to
plants and such.
Look at Dom, and then just dip the paper in the closest cup of water. Just full submerge.
But I mean, if you don't want to take it, we don't have to. It's just 4,000 per day, and as you know, Kesnanak is so great at hunting. I figured, if nothing else, Kesnanak would want to take it personally. You know, as something to do on the side in case you need to walk off from the party again.
I mean,
It's always good to have a backup.
I could go over there, but I'd say I'm probably more of a fledgling hunter than a professional one. I could probably teach him like a thing or two about setting traps and hunting smaller medium game, but I'm nothing like what probably a ranger, which is probably what they're looking for. I mean, I could always give it a shot, but I doubt I'm really the thing that they really need. But I guess I could always give it. It almost seems like a scam to pay that much for hunting lessons, don't you think?
Lorenza kind of leans over when she hears that. She comes kind of like out of nowhere from behind the bar and goes, "You know, you'd think that, but there's a lot of rich merchants that are very dumb around here and just want to show off for their friends. They're probably just looking for you to help them kill some big creature that they can say they helped with, and they can show off to their friends saying they killed it. To be honest, you could probably take them out back to the area where the goblins have been spotted, just kill a couple of them and let them stuff the little bastards. That'll probably satisfy most of the merchants. They just want to, hey," she kind of smiles and goes, "Think about it, right? Imagine if you had a life where you never had to work for anything, but you just made coin by walking around. Now, they're going to look at you like you're some big hero because you're out there slaying these creatures. They want to be like you. That's what they're hiring for." She kind of smiles.
I do agree, though, that we might not be up to the task unless you think otherwise, Kesnanak.
I mean, it definitely. What kind of what were the flowers that we needed to pick again?
They have the names.
Rosmium, Lesmium, and Plemlium, which are the poison, the arcane, and the health flowers.
I think the flower quest, like seeing Kesnanak look at it and Dom taps on it, we would have someone who would be skilled in such a thing, Ned. We have two of us who could make use of any extra flowers we pocket, and he gestures to you and himself. And it seems, unless it is a scam, quite easy money to make while we perhaps decide what other quests we want to take on.
I think definitely the flower quest is probably something that we should do just to get some money in our pockets. Maybe gear up some of us who don't have maybe everything we might need for full prepared combat.
Exactly. Also, if we take the other two quests, he gestures to the Mistvale Pup Capture and the, what was the name? The Ironhide Armadillo. This gives us time to ask around or perhaps research into these creatures. Get a plan. I don't think we can brute strength against something that has Ironhide in the name, nor simply
Do I know
walk up
anything
and
about
grab
the
something
creature?
called Mistvale.
Yeah, you can roll me a knowledge nature.
Yep. Let's see. 23.
23. Well, firstly, you know that Ironhide armadillos are known to be spotted in two places in there, specifically only on this continent. One is about 2 to 3 weeks worth of travel by foot directly west of here, and another is about 2 weeks directly south from Adventurer's Beginning, the other city on the continent. As far as beyond that, you would know, and give me a moment to pull their thing up, that Ironhide armadillos shell can be used like enchanted metallic plates. They do basically work like iron. So you would be attacking something that would be the same as iron outright. These creatures are so known to be native to the Underdark. They seem to like dark landscapes, and they specifically are very known for their magical resilience. Beyond that, the few people who have actually ever managed to catch one alive, few have figured out how to kill it besides managing to get a dagger into the back of its neck once it's stuck its head out, but only once you peel the shell off of its head. These creatures are pretty hard to kill, but very easy to catch as they aren't very bright. So
Start spewing all of that information out like an audio textbook.
yeah, I was gonna say, TLDR, they like the dark, they're from here, they're not far from where you are, and basically they're slightly magically resistant, and they're hard to kill.
Yeah, due to these prices, they sound pretty difficult.
I will also note, Ned would note that they roughly run around 10,000 gold pieces amongst druids, which is a little less than what you guys would buy in, like, cities.
If we did the flower quest and got some money in our pockets to buy the right to gear and use the darkness to our advantage, I don't think it would be entirely difficult given our sizes, gestures to the group of giants, to wrangle and tie down at least one of these.
Ned, with your knowledge, do you know if these armadillos are solitary or are they packs? Do they, roam in like groups and packs?
I believe. Let me double check something because I have.
Let me think real quick. I'm pretty sure I know.
Take your time, Ned.
Like rub my chin, look up into the distance.
God damn it.
Yeah, what's that clicking and clacking sound coming from there? That's crazy.
I'm looking up something because I actually don't know this. Because I don't know if they're
It's
social.
almost as if Ned was waiting for a voice to narrate into his head.
They are solitary.
Yeah. I know
armadillos. I didn't know. Listen, most mammals are not solitary, so I had to double check to make sure. So, yeah, it would be considered solitary.
Okay. Well, Ned.
They're solitary. They travel alone generally. You're welcome. I appreciate the voice in my head sometimes.
Your inner thoughts?
Something like
Everyone
that.
has those.
You know what? Let's see here. I definitely think we should start off maybe with the flower picking. After that, gearing up, we could probably, if the quests are of course still here, maybe either do hedge warders or the, proficient hunters needed job.
Oh, and by the way, I forgot a note. They're 10 foot long and 5 foot tall.
Oh, okay.
They're pretty big.
I do want to add though, if y'all remember the other party we met back in the Frost Giant lands, they actually met some of these Dracs nearby and even took some of their eggs, and the eggs were worth a lot.
For the Ironhide Armadillo?
No, for the Dracs.
How much do the Drax
I had
eggs
audio
cost?
cut out of character.
1,000 GP.
Kesnok starts seeing dollar signs or gold coins in his eyes slightly.
We could look
Not really.
into...
I'm kind of thinking of Royce, what are the Drax?
They're like Kirby, but dragons. It's literally just, they're giant heads with legs that can spew out, dragon breath sometimes. But when in herds, they're scary. They do have a pretty high to hit, as one player who rolled, I think, above a 20 had to roll nearly perfect to get to manage what they got.
Gotcha. So it would have to
now,
use a stealth
I
mission.
will state, on that note of the eggs, they did not state that they got those eggs while Drek were nearby. They just stated that they sold eggs, so kind of keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So, now while it would be extremely risky to take the eggs, we could just try and get a Drac.
Not sure if I want to try to grab a single pack animal. at the moment.
I think perhaps we continue this conversation, but in something more akin to a library or somewhere with more information on these creatures.
But if I'm in the library, I can't talk.
That might actually be a good
We
thing.
can grab some books to take outside. Might be a good thing.
But nonetheless, I think maybe flower picking would be quite useful because not only can we pick some for the job itself, the 40 of each, but we can grab some for ourselves. Having some poison, arcane, and health herbs and flowers would probably assist.
Considering what happened in Humphrey's last hold, where mushrooms basically saved our asses, yes. There's also, he slides the other quest over, the Hedgewarder's quest, which is very much in line with something we could do, I would say. Guide some people, put up guards. We were setting up watch in the wilderness not too long ago. It pays fairly well. I say that should be perhaps our second quest after the flower.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. After we get these flowers, I was going to recommend we either do the Hedgewater's Guards quest or I could, do the whole hunting thing.
We could also look for the goblins, but if the population is in hiding and the elders are about, we might have to wait for them to show themselves again.
Yeah. If the big goblin bosses are marching around right now, I don't think it's gonna be safe for us to be hunting goblins for this time being. So yeah, I think. What do you guys think about starting off with flower picking? Nice, easy. Nothing could possibly go wrong here.
Yes, I have never seen anything go wrong with flower picking before.
Absolutely nothing can go wrong.
Nothing goes wrong with flower picking.
Right, guys?
I look to the camera and just straight faced.
Everyone looks at the exact same camera, blank face, breaking the fourth wall. You viewers!
I look into Robert's eyes. Me and Robert, we're having war flashbacks right now.
Oh, yeah. Suddenly I am not excited to go flower picking.
Yeah, let's go flower picking, guys.
Guys, I feel like there's a weird feeling about something about a dwarf in a cave and just like a little goblin. I mean, I know we were talking about not hunting goblins, but I'm getting this weird thought about a goblin and like flowers.
She kind of Laurence looks at you as you look kind of point on towards and start kind of all agreeing to the flower picking question. She smiles. She goes, "All I recommend is make sure you wear something that's not penetratable." And she looks at you and she looks specifically over to Ned and she goes, "And I'm using those words for a reason, sweetheart."
The flowers crave.
It ain't flowers I'd worry about, and fire don't do much. But good luck to you. The guy who posted that quest, he's a dwarven fellow, works down the street at a place called Chisel and Cut. It's a jewelry shop, I heard, or at least that's what I heard. She smiles and goes, "If you young gentlemen need anything else, do let me know." She kind of smiles and kind of backs away, goes to deal with another customer who's actually ordering food and food drinks. As you have been just kind of sitting at the bar, looking over the papers, not eating it or drinking anything.
I'm writing notes.
No, you're
I'm
good.
writing all the notes.
Someone should.
Look at the DACA notes, looks back at Hunter, looks at DACA notes again.
Listen, DACA notes were definitely not notes in the slightest.
No.
Not useful ones, anyways. And that's what made them DACA notes.
So she said a dwarf at
Chisel and Cut.
Was posted the quest. So Down Under looks at the map he was given by the elf, who I don't think we actually got the name of.
You
And
did not.
we'll look for that. Yeah, we'll look for that on the map.
As you look about, it looks to be right back towards the entrance to the city where you had come from. As it's specifically marked off as "Don't go there."
Oh wow.
So Dununder sees this and looks over at the others and goes, "The place that Chisel's cut is situated in is marked as. The person who made the map says to not go there. And considering the rest of the city has gang affiliations, I believe that speaks volumes. However,
Well,
there's
so
also
my
no
question.
talking about the motivations of the person who wrote this.
Well, so this map, does it look kind of like, say, a map a thief would write up as a go here to steal things, don't go here because it's like fantastic security type of stuff?
As you look it over, as Dom kind of shows the map, or kind of holds the map looking at it, kind of peeping over it, it looks to be more of a local map, if you will, like as if you were traveling through alleys and had to go about the town to go different places and do business. It does definitely look like someone who's done a little bit of stealing has marked this off, because there are marks of like gang territories, markets where you can black markets where you can sell illegal goods, where the drug markets are listed in the area. However, the marking, as you see where Dom is kind of gesturing towards, looking at it, specifically just says, "Yeah, do not go there."
Huh. What could possibly go wrong? Dun, 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 dun.
Do we? I assume we have to speak to the quest maker to get the quest.
It does not say that.
I mean, isn't the whole point of going through the Adventures Guild that we just go do it, we bring it back?
It's just acts as a contact in case you need extra information.
Exactly. So Dununder sees that, looks at Kaznak, and is like, "Well, we should head out then. Perhaps ask Lorenze for general direction."
Yeah, I mean, if we wanted to know what might be out there, like the kind lady said, maybe to have gear that can't be penetrated so easily. I mean, I have my scale mail, but
Dununder still has his cold weather clothes on, so he's very bundled up.
Are you hot?
I mean, it's semi-cold, because remember, it's like the late winter, early spring at this point, so because it's February.
Okay, because I was curious, because we are on the other side of the planet, so I don't know if seasons flip across hemispheres.
No, it does not.
Dununder's cold weather clothes was already fairly lightweight in terms of cold weather because of his monk nature, so he's got fur on his clothes, but he's not, like, wearing thick hide or anything crazy. He is fully clothed though, like his body is all but like neck.
Noted, this planet does not spin on a slanted axis.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Hunter's taking notes for himself.
What does that mean?
Well, you know how the reason why like seasons on Earth are flipped from the north and south hemispheres because we are on a tilted axis.
Oh, you're talking about the world. I thought you were talking about Domnander, and I'm like, what is that a euphemism for?
No. So I just said the seasons don't change from north to south.
Is his axis slanted or non-slanted? Sounds like a gay innuendo.
It's like, man, this guy's a little slanted. This guy's got a slanted axis, don't he?
Sounds like a dick joke.
God damn it. As you lot kind of go back, get up or gather about where are you guys heading?
I suppose, do we need to go to a store to get Ned clothes?
Well, that you probably also want to note where these flowers can be found, as there's no note on the notice.
Yeah, we could ask the lady probably.
Yeah, exactly.
As you look about, Laurence kind of comes over, seeing you guys kind of standing up, and goes, "Oh, are you finally ready to order something?"
How much
And
does
do you have clothes?
food cost?
Oh, I offer, it depends on what you're looking for. We have something as expensive as a gold piece to something as expensive as a copper piece.
I'm just looking for a light snack. I am quite parched.
Do you like dog meat or do you like people meat?
Never mind, I'm good.
She just kind of looks at you and kind of like raises an eyebrow and goes, all right. Any of the rest of you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Unless you sell clothes for our friend, I just had questions about the quest.
Oh, we can sell clothes, if you're looking for, clothing. Is there, specifically any items you're, looking for?
I look at Ned and I go, whatever loose pants you have, pants that will be pants, but have room for our friend.
Oh, your friend's blessed. Ah, I understand. I had a friend of mine who was also too blessed at one point, and he tore right through his pants one night when he was too excited.
I think
Just look at
Ned
my
shared
staff and
a
it'll
room,
just tell you
so
what
I
you need to know, you know?
Dome and Ned did share a room. If Ned does not wear anything underneath and he goes to bed, Dom probably saw things he did not want to see.
She looks you up and down, Ned, and goes, how do you feel about, do you like breeches or skirts?
Britches.
She nods and goes, alright, I got a traveler's outfit for about a gold piece. One of our compatriots recently passed away, and he's about your size, so you actually kind of lucked out. Might be a little bit thicker in the shoulders. He was a little more well-fed than you, if you get what I'm saying. He enjoyed the people meat. It's weird.
Guess what kind of people?
Thunderhoof bison, typically is our most common one. We get a lot of fish dishes out here, though. Let's see. There's a Whisper Wind Fawn. That's really good. The Spectral Sows are popular, but I mean, it's just because you can eat spectral bacon and not actually gain a single pound. I had a lot of people out there who seem to eat that. Dog meat, we only give them the, as far as it goes. We typically use the Sunfire chicken or any dead griffins we end up with.
Interesting. Well, Ned, pay her the gold piece.
Yes,
Unless you want
I'll pay the
to-
gold piece
Unless you want to
to
risk.
begrudgingly put pants on.
I was saying, does he put a shirt on, or does he just? Yeah, I was gonna say, does he just put the pants on of the outfit and put the rest of the outfit in his bag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Just
Ned, you
mumbling
can't,
the whole time.
like, you can't just be throwing that thing around. It's dangerous.
You see Laurence smile at Ned, and she goes, "Listen, I understand. My ex-husband was the same way. My son hated when I'd tell him the stories of it. But one time, I watched him break through a bronze plating with the damn thing."
Quite a feat.
That's pretty impressive, actually.
Sounds. What was it? Did his name happen to be Thundercock? Is that like your?
No. He was Greg's Martom the First.
Oh, good God.
She looks.
I wonder.
Yes.
I wonder. That's all Don says out loud to himself.
Curious.
Don't understand. Full train of thought is I wonder if that's genetic, but he's not gonna say that. So he's just
Okay.
wondering how that's possible.
Anyway, getting that aside, so the to find these flowers for this mission.
She
Where
nods.
do we go?
Well, if you're looking for the gathering of those that specific lot, how comfortable are you with war zones?
Technically, we were in one.
Perfect.
Yeah, nothing I ain't seen before.
About, I'd say 3 weeks northeast, if you will. You'll find a patch of where you'll find plemlium, lesmium, and rosmium growing pretty rapidly. My only recommendation is kind of watch your feet. And remember that whole thing I told you about the armor, or like the clothing and armor. And she kind of holds her hand and like rubs it in a circular motion towards Ned's chest. She goes, "This is going to get pierced." And then I don't know about you, sweetheart, but I don't know if you want to be a mother anytime soon. But so I recommend putting on a shirt when you go into combat. You'll understand when I get there.
A mother anytime soon.
Yeah, there's these weird like creatures we've been hearing rumors about that supposedly, if they bite you and kill you, they do things to your body after you're dead. It's horrendous. I don't know where my voice went.
That is called necrophilia.
Well,
Ned knows a word.
She looks up at Ned and smiles. I'd put a shirt on then.
Ned, you can
Well, I
listen
am
to
wearing the big sash over the shoulder thing.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
I don't think it's be enough, buddy.
Fitted up as cold weather clothing.
You said
I
it was
did
in
have that.
She said it was a field in the northeast, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Just writing that down.
Yes,
Down
but-
under, who is still fully layered up. I have to remember if I gave him fingerless gloves in his design. I don't know if I did, but he's layered up and looks at Aldrin, who's a rogue, so also very well layered, and kind of looks at Kisnok in scale mail, and then finally looks at Ed is like, "You might want to consider just throwing a cloak on or something, Ned. Those are nice and flowy."
She kind of smiles at that. Go ahead.
We could get you like some like wool or something, from a not dead sheep.
Plant shirt. That was out of character.
A flax shirt.
A flax cotton.
I can
No,
wear
just
leather
like-
or hide armor.
No, plant shirt as in like just stick some leaves on them.
The Ronse looks up at you and goes, "Oh, sweetheart, do you not know how they make leather?"
Nowadays I've learned it's better to not know.
You see a smile.
Hamburgers?
Actually, yes, I can make you one right now if you're hungry.
I just start running.
Ned turns and books it out. Yeah.
Well, do we want to stay in town for the night, or do we want to just set out and camp?
Seeing that Ned is no longer in the inn or the guild.
Well, we need to probably stop him if he's running out because we can't be out at night apparently.
Oh yeah, I should probably tell you guys about that. Hold on, we probably don't want to talk about this inside. This is an outside thing. This is a not around other people type of thing.
Ronse kind of looks at you, kind of shrugs her shoulders, and goes, "I was just trying to give him a nice meal. He didn't have to run off so rudely." As she walks off.
Dealing with a lot of thinking.
Yeah, let's go get Ned
Lately.
real quick, and it's probably better if we all go to get him in case things happen.
As
I ran up from the corner and I'm huddled behind a trash can.
You're by the wolf. You're hiding under the wolf at the cart.
Imagine you go around the
Staring
corner.
in the distance.
Yeah, as you lot kind of come jogging around towards where the cart is, seeing, kind of going around the block, seeing, kind of spotting Ned hiding behind a trash can, kind of cowering down, rain coming down hard. A couple of guards kind of watching as they're looking him up and down, looking at you lot as they see what's going on, kind of as you act kind of suspiciously towards with the situation going on from their perspective.
No, I'm just casually approaching.
Hey Ned, let's go back inside, buddy. It's not safe to be out at night.
You don't need to be scared.
But she's gonna cut up animals and feed it to me.
You don't. She's not going to feed it to you. You can just say no.
I think I'd honestly rather the people meat.
People are animals, Ned.
I mean,
He's gonna have a breakdown.
sometimes.
No, Ned. We're all animals. That's kind of how that works.
Is that what that short fella told you? You're an animal?
Thank you, Ned. I really appreciate you and all the things that you do.
Kesnock's just writing in his little notebook in the background, not helping Ned again.
if you get in the cart and come with us, Kezanak is going to tell us all something very fun and very exciting, and you don't want to miss it.
Yes, it's probably. Actually, I would rather not be traveling in this town at night, to be honest. And it's very imperative that we don't. And because it's probably very dangerous for us. And I know it's something I want to be doing, but
I don't think we're ready for it just yet.
We should get a room at the nice place with all the plants, Ned, and talk upstairs.
And I'll make sure I get you some grilled vegetables. Or raw ones, if that's what you prefer.
Either way.
Awesome.
Get him a bit of both.
I'll see what we can do. If I can't, I'll figure something out, I guess.
Hey,
all right, let's get back inside.
a Rakshasa kind of wearing plate in a very similar uniform to the guards kind of comes walking over to you as I see you kind of finishing up your conversation. He goes, excuse me, are you lot having difficulty? Young man on the ground, are these people bothering you?
No. The lady in that building was gonna feed me a cheeseburger.
You see the worst, the slightest of smile as he tries very hard to hold his composure, managing to quell it just as soon as it pops up, closing his eyes and breathing slowly. He goes,
yeah, Keznok turns around just a little bit to hide his face and just says,
I
little smirk.
I understand your how that can be tormenting to someone of your persuasion. I will go ahead and make sure to issue her a warning when it comes to gentlemen of your background, and let her know. I don't think she meant any harm by it. I think she meant as an intention to offer to feed you. But I will make sure she is better educated, as he kind of lets out a slight chuckle, to know how to better deal with your dietary regulations, as he smiles.
Ned stands up and smiles and, like, aggressively shakes the man's hand. You're very nice. I appreciate you.
Well,
I'm Ned Grass and Trees.
I eat people, as he shakes his hand and gives you a smile with his very sharp teeth.
I collect donations, and I hold up my bucket with my other hand.
Oh God, he's a busker. He got me in his trap. Now
You see-
I am obligated to give him
You see
money.
the Rakshasa kind of lets go of your hand and goes, well, it's unfortunate for you. I've just spent my week's wages on some local cheeseburgers that causes that, to fight for the cows' rights and how they shouldn't be turned into cheeseburgers. I'm out of all my gold.
I was about to say, are you partaking the long pork?
I do not eat anything besides vegetation and other living creatures, if I can.
Vegetation and other living creatures?
Yes, such as, yourself, for example. You do look quite well muscled.
By the way, you know what long pork is, right?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, alright, cool. But nonetheless, have a good day, sir.
He kind of nods and goes, have a good evening to you lot as well, as he turns and heads back to one of the guards. As they start kind of walking off, talking about the situation, you see as they start kind of joking and get some kind of laughing, one bellows out really loudly as they walk away.
I lean over and whisper to Dom, I think they're gonna eat the other guard.
You're right, buddy. I know you weren't talking to me, but I heard you were whispering pretty loud.
Keznok
I don't really know how whispering works. My bad.
No, I got you, bro.
Keznok kind of leaning in right next to you to hear this fully telling you that. As you lot kind of gather back up, heading towards the guild, there are inns marked on the map. There are 2 inns noted outright.
Is the kinky buckle amongst them?
No.
Oh man.
That's noted as a magic armor shop as you kind of look it over.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. As you look about, you see the one that's marked as the Breathless Spirit, as on the main street, not a little bit more towards the turning road where you had come in earlier. However, the second inn is listed as a no-go. Although it has the word inn on it, it doesn't have the business's name, and it seems to be in the back alleys of the city, and it has a big cross out on it.
All right, so this is what I'm gathering. More expensive, more safe. Other one, the no-go zone, probably far less expensive and far less safe. How are we choosing? You know what?
Good.
I'm gonna overrule what everyone says here, and I say we just go to the one on the main street and see what that looks like first.
I say we see the price, pool together money if needed to share a room, and maybe not risk ones where our organs might get stolen.
Yes. I mean,
unless we plan to keep watch and take turns.
You know, I'm not too content on keeping watch in town, because that just seems like it's a bad place to be anyways.
I was always taught it's weird to watch people sleep.
You know, you are correct. But it's mostly to keep watch for the people who are sleeping, not to watch the people sleeping.
Oh. That explains a lot.
What have you been doing when you were on watch?
Yeah, Ned, what have you been doing?
And I point at Kez.
I know I do. I've been told that a lot. Okay,
and if you would like your sleep talk journal, I can get it for you later, but I have to find it.
My what now?
You talk in your sleep.
And you kept a journal of it?
Well, I mean, maybe it was going to be important. I don't know. You got a god and whatnot. I don't know how that worked.
Huh. Oh,
maybe they were passing a message through you to me.
Oh, by the way, when I was in prison, I was meditating, and someone is coming, and that's all I got. All right, let's get to the. Let's go get to the.
Kazanok, what's your intelligence?
10.
Never mind. Yeah, it's fully accurate. You know, I was about to say something, but never mind. I'm not gonna. Nope. Yeah, as you say this, kind of turning and like kind of standing up straight and walking down, following the map. Does anybody say anything about that, or just out of curiosity? All right.
Do I want to know what you mean by someone is coming?
I don't know either, bud. I'm worried about it. But you shouldn't be worried about it, because if you don't know if you don't know what it's about, then how can you be worried about it? Right? Right.
Do you need to drink more to calm down?
Listen, there's a lot of this has been a freaking day, guys. I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of things going on. I'll tell you about the other thing that I need to tell you when we're away from this adventuring guild.
Yeah, as you start heading down the road, kind of about another hour passes by as you get finally to the crossroad, or half hour passes by as you get to the crossroad. Coming around the corner, you see the large 4-story sized inn. The very wide brick building seems to be designed with different paintings of different famous dragons, all elegantly designed to kind of draw the eye. The inn at the outside seems to have a very nice wooden seating area that currently is kind of pulled away, and all the furniture outside has been pulled in with the rain going on. Inside, you can hear the bustling sounds of people eating, laughing, and joking as coin is going about, food is being brought about, and the strong smell of both meat as well as cooking vegetables can be smelled on the air, especially the scent of cooking potatoes.
This place seems like a high-class joint. Let's go see what this is all about. I'm actually quite excited. It's been a while since I've had a place of such accommodation. That place in Utham's Town was decent, but I did not like the manager of that place, if you catch my drift.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, don't worry about it. No, I'm not going to repeat it. I'm joking.
The people of your own Dom.
1 second. 1 second.
Gotta pay attention 24/7.
You know what I mean, Dom? And
Dom kind of like suddenly zone backs in and looks at you and just kind of nods along. You like tap their shoulder. As you see, kind of Kez takes the lead, walking forward. The giant the sign that says "Breathless Spirit" in like 4 different languages listed on the sign. As you open up the door, the giant glass window seeming to still show the bright hearth and a very large bar where a young elfin woman kind of works about, who is elegantly designed. She's brightly. Excuse me. Brilliantly lighting up the room, almost as she gives off a massive glow. She is roughly about 7 feet tall, extremely lean, yet very well muscled, as you see her shoulders and back are very well developed, as well as a master longbow that you can almost immediately recognize as mainly as the fact that it slightly glows. It doesn't take much to realize this is a magic item, kind of hanging over the bar, mounted up right above her.
She just like me for real.
She looks about as she kind of smiles. Some of the as you look about, seeing what you thought were other elves walking about outside, as you come in, you realize were unseen servants that seem to be kind of walking about, handing off orders and food and drink. Actually, the elven woman kind of waves you over, kind of handing off a plate of what looks to be some sort of eggs-like dish to someone, and then another a giant bowl of what looks to be this weird amalgamation of fluffy white potatoes mixed with some red-like liquid. She smiles over at you and goes, "How may I help?" She starts in Draconic and switches to Giant. She goes, "How may I be of assistance? I apologize. I don't typically use Giant around these parts. Do you need anything? A room, an interest, or a potion? A place to sit?" She kind of smiles.
I would like to ask how much your rooms go for.
Well, it depends. We have the lower end, which is you'll be sleeping down here. Basically, it's where after closed, you find a spot after we're done cleaning it up, and can sleep wherever you like. That's about a silver piece per person. Or for 5 silver pieces, we'll let you sleep in the commoner's room upstairs, which is just a bunch of bunks in one big room. Above that is what we call our VIP treatment. There are single bedrooms you can rent out for 5 gold pieces apiece. They are 1 bed per room, by the way.
Well, Domnander looks pointedly at the fact that there are many people in the group.
Yeah, I noticed, Dom.
Yeah, he's not saying anything.
I know, but you're
turn
gesturing.
to talk, buddy.
Yeah, ha ha ha. All right, so, well, I suppose. So there is 1 bed in a room, but are multiple people allowed to still stay in the room, or is it strictly 1 person per room, as per like house rules?
She looks at you and goes, "I don't care how many of you sleep in a single room, as long as you don't make it to the point where you can't, we can't get it back in there."
Fair enough. What do you guys think? Actually, thank you for the room information. Do you mind if we have a table to sit at? Maybe order some food.
She nods as she orders one of the servants to clear a table, and as they kind of do, ushering you over, kind of sitting you down, you watch as a weird like bubble that seems to almost of light kind of surrounds the little booth that you've been sat into. As you're kind of left in there, you notice suddenly as you sit down and this sheen kind of glows over you, you can't hear anything outside.
Do we get a menu or anything?
Yes. As you look at it, give me a second to pull up this. Let me see if I can find my listing here. Yeah. Alright, so she has on there listed as a bouquet of flowers, which is listed as a drink. Multiple different rice dishes, mostly leaning from different kinds of meats and vegetables. Each listed as spicy, medium, and no spice. There is corn on the cob that is listed as maize. There is... Give me a moment.
Maze on the cob.
There is fawn,
Amazing.
spectral bacon, which has a star by it, noted, and it has a little note above that says anything, no calories gained from this. Eating this is only for pure flavor. There is quill, which is listed on there, as well as tortoise.
Is there anything that's like vegetarian for
As
our
you look about it,
druid here?
yeah, the dishes seem to be kind of build your own. You pick your meat and what you want. With the different kinds of meats, there is just potatoes listed and different kinds of assorted veggies, such as I said, like with maize. Let me pull up the rest of the list here. Yeah, the maize, the flour bouquet. There is a cocoa dish, a chocolate rice dish. There's a corn and rice dish, as well as some sort of fruit and rice dish that was made.
All right. So, Ned, you get a choice of rice, fruit, corn, and potatoes. Looks like those are your options tonight.
I would like the corn and rice as spicy as it can get.
As you see this, you see suddenly a random like a lace of leather kind of almost unshrivel itself, and a pen or a quill starts to write upon it as it writes down what you just said.
I guess I'll take just some rice and some meat. Let's keep it on the more mild end of spice.
It puts meat with a question mark, and then goes down to the next one as it waits for Dom to speak.
Just trying to. What are the prices? Does it list the prices on them?
It does not have a listing.
Dununder will look at the menu and look at the worker and ask,
there is no worker.
What are the? Oh.
It's an unseen servant. He can't speak anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Damn it.
I know I said just meat, but what are the meat options?
As you look over it again, it states fawn, bison, quill, sow, so ham, or tortoise.
Oh, sorry. To clarify on the meat, I'd like the bison, please.
It scratches out the question mark and writes and draws a cow's head.
Sorry, Dom, for interrupting you. Please go ahead.
I actually was also wanting to get the bison.
It just writes to number 2 by it, and it looks and then it waits for Uldren to speak.
Make that 3.
It kind of, you see the irritated scratching into the leather as it writes a 3.
Kazdanok here, a trendsetter in the culinary world. Like, oh yes, the bison. Oh yes, I guess I'll try the bison. Next thing you know, Ned's gonna be like, maybe I'll try the bison too.
Yeah,
Bison sounds like the closest to what Dome would eat in the cold north.
You watch as it kind of winds back up and dissipates, vanishing.
All right. So about what I wanted to talk about before we talk about how we're gonna set up rooms or where we're gonna sleep. So when I was very infuriated and angry at everything and anything in this world, I was approached by a young gentleman, and he told me that there is some kind of necromancy type cult working around the town. There's undead that walk around at night, which is why I wanted to make sure we got off the roads pretty quickly. Yeah, I'm also was informed, listen, I don't know if this is 100% true or if any of it's true, but this is just something I'm going off of, that some of the members of the Adventuring Guild are also a part of this cult, which is why I didn't want to talk about it there. I was told to speak to his sister over at the Kinky Buckle, mentioning his name and maybe get more information. I just thought I'd let you guys know that, dealing with the undead's kind of what I'm all about, or at least what I am supposed to be doing. And I would like to check into this as soon as possible.
And while I am 100% understanding and you wanting to take care of that undead presence, I do want to ask, do you know anything about the people that can resurrect the dead? Like,
Yeah, they're fucking dangerous.
Okay. Do you think our party can handle a potential guild full of these dangerous people?
Listen, I don't think we've survived worse. I mean, we've managed to survive around some pretty bad things like gloom attacks.
How
We
many
had
times
a
have we gone
giant
down?
magical board.
And to be honest, it's not like we're going to be able to dismantle this thing in a day, Aldrin. I'm just saying
I'm not
that
expecting to
I
dismantle it in
would
a
like
day.
hey, I would prefer if you don't interrupt me, all right? Is that cool? Thank you. All I'm saying is that the longer we let this go on, the worse it's going to be for us. I know we don't have to do it right now. We don't exactly have the equipment to do so, nor do I have the spell that I might need for this. We might need to do a little bit more work so I get the spells necessary and the experience that I'm going to need to take this on. And we're going to need money to get some components I'm going to need for it. So what I'm saying is that I want to let it be known what I want to do and what might have to be done soon. Not that we're doing it now, but something that we're probably going to have to do in the future. Because I can't let this go.
And this guy that was telling you this stuff, did he seem genuine, or like did it seem like maybe he was part of the cult and trying to pin the cult on other people that maybe were trying to catch him?
This is a town of deceit. So I don't know. I didn't really look into it as I was pretty infuriated at the time. So I didn't really take the time to really, sense his motive. But I mean, when we go to visit his sister and maybe get more information on it, we could definitely look into it then. All I'm saying is that I'm not going to take this lightly, whether it's a lie or a truth. Even if it's a lie, I still want to look into it to make sure it is. Because the whole potential necromancy thing is something I need to look into.
If we walk into a trap, I'm just going to blame you.
That's reasonable. I mean, I'm asking you to do something that really only I need to be doing. You don't need to have any part of this. This is something that I am required by my faith to be looking into.
I think Older and Ned's concerns are valid. We should definitely be better prepared and do more research into the kinky buckle and the cult as a whole. But if these people pose a threat to the city and are interfering with the Adventurers Guild, it will eventually affect our ability to do our work here. I don't think we should jump to do it perhaps as quickly as you would like, but I am not opposed to dealing with this in the future, as you said.
Thank you, Dom. Of course.
I do think we need more tact involved if some of these members are high-ranking locals. Us coming in and killing them, claiming them to be cultists without evidence, will get, well, some of us will get thrown in jail for the first time. Others, the second. Either way. He kind of flashed you a bit of a wry smile. You get a feeling it wasn't an insult so much as a joke to lighten the mood.
Listen,
and just
so what I know of people raising dead is that they are whoever they are to even raise the weakest of the undead, they themselves are stronger than us individually, for sure. So I'd say we're going to need to if we come across undead, for sure we might be able to take some on, but we are probably not ready yet to take on actual necromancers themselves. Taking on the random skeleton zombie, sure. But I know for a fact, and I don't think we should be trying to fight the necromancers themselves. we won't be able to do it. We could get lucky, but it's gonna be way too dangerous.
If the Tilver guy was suggesting the Necromancer Guild was perhaps finding people on the street to kill and resurrect, part of what we could do could be less hunting them down and more guard work, preventing them from finding people alone. If they don't have bodies.
Or we could offer like an escort service for people at night.
This is a really large city. And if we're going to protect one person, another person's going to... I don't think we should be doing anything right now to alert them that we know. And, you know, if the guy I was talking to was a part of them, I mean, they already know I know. So...
My concern lies in the fact that a guy conveniently appears when you are alone and mentions something you are obligated by religion to interfere with. Does it not strike you as a bit convenient he seemed to know you would be interested in a necromancer's cult when you were, for the first and only time, isolated from the party, and your goddess warned you someone was coming, correct? I don't mean to shed more doubt on the situation, but I also must point out the convenience of this is not lost on me.
Oh, trust me, trust me, I've recognized that. To me it was very odd, because I'm like, wow, they're gonna come up to a servant of Ella Ugbo. I mean, how would they know? And talk to me about a potential necromancy guild. Trust me, Dom, it was not lost on me that was really convenient. But as I said, it is still required of me to check it out nonetheless. It's not something I can just ignore through the idea of someone might be trying to trick me or anything.
I do have to ask, because this will be necessary to know. Is it a moral obligation, or will your goddess smite you down if you don't interfere?
If there is a single chance that there is undead lurking or someone perverting the souls, I must take care of them. That is what we do. It is very taboo. The whole, unwilling souls being brought back.
I will say that I do in one way agree with Kaz, because they're disturbing Mother Nature's course on the bodies.
Mm-hmm. That's
can't
exactly
disturb that.
Honestly, how Ned's seeing it is kind of like how we see it, for sure. It is a perversion of the way of life, the circle of life and death, starting, beginning. That is the end. Nothing should be after it besides the afterlife. That's it for them. It's cruel.
I mean, I don't know about no afterlife stuff. Just that when you're dead, the worms eat your body, and then they use the nutrition to help the trees and stuff grow.
Well said, Ned. So bringing all of this together, I'm not saying we do this now. I'm not saying we even really hard look into this now. I'm just saying this is something that at least I am going to have to check out in the near future, because this is not something I can just ignore. Aldrin, do you have anything to say? I know I shut you down a little bit earlier, but I want to give you the opportunity to talk.
I just want it to be known that we may not be currently equipped. If you are not intending on taking them out all at once, or, trying to stop them immediately, because that's just how it seemed, then I would like to make sure that we are properly equipped, because my own personal experience, I don't think we have the best track record, as I have also noticed I am quite squishy.
Oh, trust me, I don't have the equipment. that I need to fully take on the undead right now. I do not have any silver. I have no holy water. I do not have all the tools that I'm going to need to fully take on a necromancer and their ilk. Trust me, this is not something we're going to need. I need like 25 gold pieces to maybe get like some like silver dust to make holy water. Now that's a rough estimate. It changes wherever you go. But, you know, we're going to need to do some jobs, get some training done so that we're actually fit enough to deal with the necromancers themselves. If we see an undead, I can't really run away from it unless it's like something I really can't deal with. But I get you're worried. I understand where you're coming from. But fear not, this is not something we're just going to dive through headfirst. Careful planning needs to go into dealing with these people.
Fine.
Now, so we good? We cool?
We are.
I'm going to hand out to Aldrin for a handshake, kind of like we're good.
Okay.
I shake your hand.
Does anyone else want a handshake? I'm going to offer to everyone here.
The unseen servant clasps your hand randomly.
You know, we're buddies now. You're in, bud.
Little note says I'm in ×3.
Yeah, he's in 3 times over. He's my man. This specific unseen servant. Never know if we'll see him again, but he's in.
As you watch, as you're kind of as you're seeing the food having been set out, you suddenly see as a large troll in full armor, a bunch of like little bits of like goblin bloodied amulets on his hip, comes over and just puts his hand out and to shake yours. And as he sees you kind of look up at him awkwardly, he just kind of pulls his hand back and turns and leaves.
I would have given him a handshake.
Fine, you can't have a +1 amulet. Fuck you.
If you give him a handshake, he'll shake your hand and turn and still just immediately leave afterwards without even saying anything.
He seems like a very nice gentleman. I hope I see him again.
Another thing for you. Back in Hrimfer's last hold, I did not catch it well. I had something to immediately tend to, but I recall you divulging some information. If it is important to where we are, I would like you to go over it again. This time when I am able to listen. Dead silence.
Aldrin.
I'm sorry. I spaced out. Can you please repeat your question?
Dom Nunder. Oh, no, I'll just do it in character. I believe you had been trying to share some potentially important information back before I had immediate business to tend to outside the tavern. If you still have it, I would be interested in hearing it.
If you mean the things I got from that other party, yeah, I still have it on hand.
Yes. So he'll kind of make gestures for you to hand the paper over.
I hand you the paper.
I will read it, which I mean, you can repost it. I could scroll.
I did reply to it, so I'll just read through that again.
Hey, Caleb, you should read it all again. No.
We're good. Nope. Yeah, as he kind of hands over the paper, the unseen servant kind of comes out, setting down drinks that like a bunch of darker ales have been set aside. As the food is fully brought out, steaming and smelling amazing. The smell of meat slightly in the air, Ned, as you watch the rest of your party mates plates kind of be set down each, smelling the familiar smell of hamburger, but cooked a little bit differently in the background.
Hmm.
I'm just trying to ignore it.
Staring at your own plate and then looking straight up. Every time they, sit there and make comments on how good it tastes, I imagine just Ned plugging his ears slightly, singing a tune. Uh-huh.
Are we near the Greg's Martam jungle?
Well, you're in his city.
You're in his country, so yes.
Yeah, so I'm like, how far is the jungle from here?
The jungle? Which jungle?
The one mentioned in the information.
The one that Essa trained in.
Oh, that was in the south where the masked elders are now.
Okay, so we're avoiding that place anyway. Dominander looks at that, seems to make note of that, and is like, good call. Good call from the party. Yeah, and he'll eventually hand the paper back to Aldrin.
Okay.
I'll take it, fold it up, place it in my bag.
Alright. As you kind of, go ahead.
Wait a second. I just saw something I glanced over originally that Dominander will bring up, and he'll actually lean towards Aldrin as the party's eating. I assume we're sat.
Yeah, you're eating and drinking, yeah.
Similar. So, bronze bucket. You have a copper-colored bucket, which is, if I'm not mistaken, semi-similar to a bronze, and there is one mentioned in the information. I'm just wondering if that has registered for you or not.
Oh, it has.
Okay, good. And he leans back in his seat to eat.
I bought it for a reason.
Yeah, as you continue kind of going about your meals, looking at everything, a couple of things start to clue in. Some things that kind of come in as you start talking. Firstly, as something that Kesnanok said, Kesnanok, with his intelligence, wouldn't catch this. The rest of the party would catch on to something, as he didn't mention this to you a lot. Him being bailed out and someone coming as he was in his jail cell kind of starts to click two and two together. That someone was sent to bail him out by his goddess. Which, Kesnok, I imagine when that's explained to you, you can kind of process however you want that Zilpip got basically sent by your goddess. I don't know how you want to deal with that, and I'm going to leave that with you in a minute.
Listen, I'm trying to keep my cool here. I don't want to think that man's connected to my god in any way. So it's kind of like, you know how it's like sometimes when someone suffers through great trauma, they try to block out, like, repressed memories and shit? That's exactly what's happening.
Just covering it over with a thought, well, he had money, so it's obvious he'd be the one to come save me, and kind of leaving at that.
He had money, he was flirting with me, maybe he just did that because, of his own free will. Someone else is definitely coming. It couldn't possibly be Zilman.
Clearly, he's got his ships, the two.
And secondly, as another common sense rule I'm just going to give you, something that's going to come to mind before you leave, you realize you probably want to get a map of the continent, something, if you can, preferably a map that is either magical, that will show kind of where areas are that have been, like, no-go zones, or something that kind of just gives you an update on where you are. You would generally have heard of items like this, being even having done your light traveling that you have as an adventuring group, so, kind of something to keep in mind. Those are the only two, like, I'm going to call them common sense rolls I'm going to give to you. Because then, with that, it would also give you the excuse to know exactly on the map where you're at all times.
That's fair.
Sorry. I assume you're talking to me because I have the map. What rolls?
No, it wasn't a roll, it was just some common sense stuff I was giving recommendations for.
I heard something about rolls and thought maybe I'd cut out.
Okay. Yeah, no. As you guys kind of start finishing up your meals, the woman comes over and she sets down a dark black drink, and she smiles and goes, if you don't mind, I I kind of predict the future, if you will, through the drinks I make. There's no downside to drinking them. They're not poisonous. They're just, once you've drank them, it gives me a vision of what you and the people closest to you will have happen to them in the next couple days. If you wouldn't mind, I'm happy to offer you something. Something came to me and said I should make this darkened drink. It is a raspberry and blackberry mix, some sort of a puree of sorts, mixed with some rum. It'll be very sweet, but it should give a little bit of a buzz. And she kind of looks about to see who's going to drink it.
I will.
I'll give it a sip.
She kind of looks over as each of you kind of reach for it, and I imagine kind of pausing, waiting to see who's going to grab it.
It's like everyone puts their hands at the same time. They all look at each other.
Yep.
Well, does she offer it for free, or are we paying for these drinks?
She doesn't seem to look to a price, so she's just waiting to see who drinks it. It's just one glass, though.
As someone drinks it, I make a sense motive check on her.
Go ahead. All right, Kez or Uldren or Ned. I don't think Ned said he grabbed for it, so Kez or Uldren.
I will smell it for any altercation, seeing if it is, poison or spiked.
I won't. I'll just drink it.
Oh my god.
All right, give me a survival check for the sniffing it for poison. And Dom, let me know what your sense motive was.
18.
And the 18, okay.
Got a 15 for survival.
15 for survival. And Kez, give me a fortitude save. Let's see.
Natural 20.
Damn. Dom, so what are you trying to learn or gather from her? If it's poisonous?
Why she's... Well, no, not even that, because he has a feeling it's alcohol. Alcohol's technically always kind of... It's got an effect on people.
Yeah.
It's more, why is she giving random people drinks for free? Is it that it's like a entertainment thing, like she gets fun out of guessing the future? Does she have a reason to believe our futures are special? Is she trying to predict if we're gonna die? And so he's just like trying to get a beat on why is she giving us this out of nowhere? As
Dom kind of stares over, he sees as Kez kind of downs it, her eyes seem to start to glow slightly, and Kez begin to as well. And you gather from that, based on her body language and how she's been acting, that this was done out of something that she saw, that she or something from a drink that she must have drank, or something else that's guiding her. You're unsure, but this doesn't seem to be done out of malice.
Okay, so she's either genuinely curious or has reason to believe we're gonna die.
Uldren, as you sniff it, it does smell of alcohol. There is you do get a slight sense of something off. Something catches your nose as Keznok takes away. The milk in it is slightly curdled. You're pretty sure it was probably just this morning, as you get the sense of smell, but nothing else of it seems to give off any dangers.
Not curdled milk.
Oh yeah, it reminds him of good old guy from up there.
Yeah. She begins to, like, her eyes begin to glow as she does this, and as she does, your eyes as well, Keznok, begin to glow, and as you see you and your friends together, in a field of these gorgeous blue, purple, and red flowers, you begin to see these semi-large, well, actually, sorry, I shouldn't say large because I keep forgetting how big you guys are. So small in comparison to you lot. Creatures that look to be almost human, like elven-like height. That look to be similar to the Thrycreen that you've heard stories about from out in the east. However, these things look to be larger and oranger and angrier. You watch as your friends go down one after another as these things tear into them and seem to, as they bite into your friends, their throats seem to kind of gestate in a weird motion. And as you kind of stare at it for a moment and see the creature come at you and take you down, you feel and see they're planting eggs in you while you're still alive and on the ground. You can't move. This is and as it shocks you back to awake, you see, like, the rest of your party kind of looking at you and eyeing up the elven woman as she kind of, like, looks at you and, like, in horror as she stares at you, Keznok.
It's just supposed to be an easy quest. Can't ever be that easy, can it now?
She goes, I'm so sorry. I don't know what that is. I just don't recommend, whatever you are planning to do, think smarter. Burn that field for the love of whatever was in it.
Now, okay, I have a question for you then. Do you have any idea of any decent paying jobs around?
Well, that job pays well. It doesn't look like there were that many of those creatures, and if you look at them, I think they were slightly injured as they weren't moving. They didn't seem to move very far. They seemed to spring up underneath you. I think this might not be a bad option if if this is what I've heard about for that 2040 gold pieces. That's a really fantastic quest. I would take that and the guarding quest because they should take you in the same direction. At least from what I heard from the travelers who are heading on that quest. I heard they're going out roughly the same direction to right around the water line.
I appreciate the information. Thank you very much.
She nods and goes, "For your future, anything I can do to help." And she kind of like sighs and takes the glass away and heads back to her table or back to the bar.
Yeah, Keznuk's got that. All right, so he'll relay what he saw to the others, just so that we have they also have the idea of what could happen if shit goes wrong.
Okay.
So kind of also, making sure to retell, what she just said in front of all of us, but it's like, if they get us, they're laying eggs in us alive, but looks like, they'll come out from underneath us, so we can be prepared for that, staying vigilant. And it seems that after they get out from underground, they can't really move that much. They're injured, so we have something to work with. And from what she said, we can take the jobs who go up to that part of the continent.
Dom's like writing down a small little notebook.
Yeah, mechanical pencil.
Mm-hmm. Mechanical feather.
Out of character.
Mechanical quilt.
The dream thing kind of seems a little important. I'm just making notes.
Dom's gotten smart about this.
All right. But this is probably, we should relax today. At least for the rest of the night, because we probably have a long journey ahead of us. It's gonna be rife with stress, battle, straight up fatigue. So let's get a good night's sleep on this one. How much do we each have enough for our own room, or do we really not want to, or do we all just want to take the
5 gold pieces for a room?
Yeah, I know. Which is why I'm asking. It's like, hey, does everyone have a coin to pay
I
for
could
their own-
definitely update the dream journal. Then I look at Kez.
I would say Aldrin has like 8 gold pieces. Just a reminder.
You also
have 8 gold pieces.
I will also note you have to get you might need rations if you don't have them already. So you can hunt, but just kind of keep that in mind.
Our smartest plan, just for money's sake, is we pay the silver to sleep in a room together. If there are other people there, so be it. We can keep alert, hide your valuables, but if any of these is reputationable as it seems, we should be fine.
Okay, so it's 5 silver per person for the bunk room.
Yep.
1 so 5.
No, yep, and then it was 1 silver piece for the common room, which is basically meant down here in the bottom floor of the inn where the restaurant is. You'll be able to sleep in the benches.
I was about to say, do they they have some rope on the other side to where they invented the term of hangover, where they just put the drunk guys over a piece of rope?
No, they toss most of the drunks that aren't paying for the night out on the street. As you do see a large Goliath that seems to be, although slightly drooling in the corner as he stares at the wall, he does seem quite capable as one of the patrons seems to get slightly rowdy, and with a slight snap of her finger, you watch as the Goliath gets up, walks over, picks up the large Drakekin, who's, you'd guess, maybe 2,000 pounds, and just throws him over his shoulder like he was a small child as the gentleman fights back trying to stab him and just walks him out and tosses him out on the street.
Can
And
I
then
go
just,
pay a silver and then just go lay down on a bench?
yeah. As you kind of walk over, kind of handing a silver and kind of nudge your head towards one of the benches, she just kind of looks at you and nods. The inn is kind of winding down as time is going on, so though it is midday, I will say.
It's still 10 silver for 1 gold, right? Or the currency
Yes,
difference
yeah,
is
correct.
different.
Yep, nope, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, we're keeping standard D&D rules to make it easy for players. So.
Okay, so Domnander will pay the 5 silver pieces for the joint room.
Oh, you're gonna go upstairs to the giant bunk room, okay?
I assume that's where the rest of the party's going.
No, Ned just paid a silver piece to stay and go sleep on a bench on the first floor.
Well, I'm not. I mean, minus Ned, who is a druid and is used to sleeping on rocks and wood and dirt. I mean, like, the people
Yeah.
who actually.
I mean the normal people.
No,
The normal giants here.
Domnot can't judge because he spent time out in the wilderness, but he doesn't choose to live like that when he's in the city.
Oh yeah, no worries. As you head over and place 5 silver pieces on, head upstairs.
I'll do the same.
Okay. Uldren?
Hey, you want top or bottom bunk?
There you
Um,
Actually, I'm bigger, so I should. How rickety do these beds look?
You'll see here in a minute. One sec though. Uldren, what about you? Are you going up or are you staying down or going somewhere else?
I will go and look to see how the rooms look themselves.
The individual
before
rooms?
I make my final No, not the individual room. The
the bunks.
room.
Yeah. As you head up, you see kind of heading up with Kezenok and Dom as they've already paid. Ned already asleep, as you can kind of hear him slightly snoring on the background as he's curled up around his stick that he got from the anvil. As the three of you though head upstairs, you see it opens up into a hallway with 2 large rooms that seem to be kind of separated by a single doorway each. As you go off to the right, it seems to be a large open room with small bunks for small to medium creatures. It seems to be kind of packed head to toe in here. They are simple bunks, basically a single twin size or a full size bed, just long enough for you to sleep in, not to be comfortable. They seem to have a wool blanket and some sort of pillow, as it is full. But as you look, it looks to be kind of lumpy, so you guess it'd be some sort of like wheat or something in it, something organic rather than feathers. As you kind of scoot over to the other side, looking at it, you see the large to huge creatures beds, where there's only a few of them in here, and there's no one else in the room currently. It's just the you lot, and each of them are just basically average beds. A couple of them come with chests that seem to be right in front of them, but besides that, there doesn't seem to be anything unique about the room. And I will say, for your question earlier, the beds do look to be very well maintained.
Okay. So weight and size shouldn't be an issue.
No.
He looks at Keznark and is like, "Do you have a preference for top or bottom bunk?"
I'll take top bunk.
As you kind of climb up onto one of them, yep.
Domnander kind of, as Keznark turns to himself, kind of smiles a bit, having expected that answer with the previous, let's just say, strikes to Keznark's pride, and will just be content taking the bottom bunk.
Yep. Keznark taking off his scale mount to the side, I imagine kind of curling up.
I'm gonna. Yeah, but the stale mill is gonna stay by me in bed. I don't
Yeah.
want it to be taken.
No, I
security.
Oh yeah, no, 100% staying on the bed with you, but I'm just taking off because if you sleep in your armor, you don't get any sleep, so you get exhaustion points for it. So I didn't think you wanted that. Yeah, leaving on the rest of like your normal clothing, you kind of the only thing you take off is the armor and kind of lay back and kind of start to fall asleep real quick. Dom, I assume.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just take off like the bag and items I keep like on my waist or on a pouch. Put them like not under my bed, but like my pillow, but beside my pillow, and then I could just pass out to sleep. Like I'm not wearing any armor. I'm just in clothes.
Yeah, and I imagine with the two of you finding that probably one of the corner bunks, so that way you'd have one area kind of quarantined off for you.
Oh yeah, and I have it on the side next to the wall. So if anyone's trying to get to my stuff, they literally have to crawl over me. And with my spot and listen bonuses, good luck.
Ned in his sleep kicks his pants off.
As he does, I'm kind of passing out, completely realizing there's no loincloth. Aldrin,
yeah, he's gonna flash the poor woman.
as you see Kesnonok and Dom kind of climb into their their bunks, and kind of start to meet, kind of taking off their gear, passing out, what do you decide to do?
I will take a bunk, while I would like to...
I say you just
You
gonna
know
lay
what?
down. You're good.
No. I'll head back,
Okay.
and I will ask, can I see the VIP rooms?
She nods and she says, "Yes, let me take you up." Is your
one of us gonna get a room? My God.
Is your friend you know what? She kind of like takes a really rough wool. You're sure it's probably more of a towel than a blanket. And kind of walks over to Ned and like lays it over Ned. She kind of like pats him on the side, and she kind of follows, and then ushers you to follow her up. As you kind of hear the other sleeping patrons kind of picked up their benches. Some of them still drinking at their benches, and as they start to pass out. She takes you upstairs, and she got all the way up to the top floor, and she goes, "These 4 rooms are individually set up. They are individually keyed, so you'll have to use one of these to get in," as she goes to unlock it. And as she opens it up, it shows a single queen, or a single queen bed, a full chest that has a key sticking out of it, a writing desk, a little messenger pigeon like post with a window, as well as a little messenger pigeon that seems to be kind of sitting there waiting, as well as a full mirror and its own bathtub that seems to have a magical water, like a magical heating effect on it.
I see. Very much worth the price.
She nods and goes, "Second best in the city."
Oh,
Too
this
bad
is the
I'm
quality.
not paying it. No, sorry.
Dude, I was about to say, if you were talking about not having the money or the stuff prepared to take on these undead, you better not be spending 5 gold on a fucking room, dog.
If we find out, bro, we're taking that bucket by force and selling it.
Y'all will have to do your best to catch me first off. Second of all, I am nobility. I don't sleep in anything less.
You ain't shit, dog.
It's fine. When we need to buy party supplies and rations, he has to pay for his own stuff, and no one pitches in. And then, you know what? That's a bold character choice. I respect it.
Aldrin will remember this.
What do you mean you'll remember this?
She looks at you, Aldrin, kind of.
Asleep.
As she stands, kind of looking into the room, waiting to see if you're gonna pay. As she kind of clears her throat and looks over at you, smiling.
Uther raised a snob. Dear God.
I pay the 5 gold. I need to use the
Oh my
messenger
God.
services anyways.
Hey, don't blame Uther. He doesn't sleep.
She nods and goes, "Okay, not a problem here." And she hands you the key as she takes the gold and goes down. She goes, "Enjoy your night. I'll make sure that your party mates are notified if you leave or if you have any messages that need to be carried out from them. Feel free to come talk to the desk."
Oh, thank you.
She smiles. She heads back down, and as you guys all kind of stand into the night, the 3 of you snoring, Aldrin, do you want to message me privately what you are doing, or do you want to say out loud what you're doing at night, or are you going to sleep?
I am writing a letter
Okay.
to the Ironheart Merchant Company
Okay.
stating, I found your bucket. Where should I have it delivered to?
Okay. As you kind of set that letter aside to be delivered by the pigeon, it kind of waits to see if you have anything else you're doing.
I'll pet the bird, and I will lock up for the night.
Okay. As you finish up writing, kind of setting the quill aside, and stand up to pet it, the bird, kind of understanding, takes a little message now. Ari kind of latched to its leg, and before you close the window, flies out, disappearing into the night sky. Well, afternoon sky. Although it is dark and raining and miserable outside, so to be fair, for all you all know, it could be dark. And it is many hours, or I was going to say the jet lag, although you've been on a ship for 9 months, the time zone is slightly different, so.
You know, I heard or I do want to know if it's true that the undead roam around at night and that there's this fire-breathing turtle that also roams around at night.
Yeah. As you kind of watch in the night, I'm not going to make you make a spot or search check as you kind of reopen the windows after a few hours as it gets really dark. Kind of watching out into the darkness, you see the rising of skeletal-like creatures in full bone armor, walking about carrying swords and attacking random strangers on the streets, guards seeming to duck and dive down side alleys as these skeletons walk about. As soon as you start to see a few of them kind of starting to bunch up near the mercenary quarters, you see a small, like, bright light kind of flash as, like, a bluish tint kind of shines from the distance, and a light fire as you see a torchlight kind of being lit by the mercenary quarters, and a group of figures far to the... Now, this is pretty far, so you can't make out clearly, but a group of figures that look to be attacking, and one that looks to be roughly very short and rotund. You're not sure if it's the turtle. It could be a short, fat person, but as you watch the fight unveil, it's quite quick to see that the creatures or beings from the mercenary quarters coming through those gates easily held off the gates and killed what was waiting for them.
Okay.
And as you begin to watch that through the night, kind of watching and eyeing up, kind of spending the rest of the night watching to see if there's any patterns to the undead, where they're going, anything of note, we're going to end it there, with us coming back the next morning. We thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time.